1 minute.
LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points per second.
Text preparation data centers with service to IRS. All aboard.
If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recycler Studios, how NDOT is cracking down in construction zones. A deadline for Real ID is looming. You'll hear what that is and what it means for you. A designation for Zionsville and what it means for that town. All that and more after Fox News Radio at the top of the hour. You are listening to 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 9 o'clock.
A little more hiring and a little more unemployment. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That is in the February jobs report just out this morning.
151,000. The expectation was for 160,000. The unemployment rate goes up to 4.1%.
Fox Business Network's Lauren Simonetti. The jobs created as an increase over January hiring, which was revised lower from 143,000 to 125. Not much reaction on Wall Street. Stock futures have been up modestly after another big sell-off. The Dow has plunged more than 1,200 points this week under a dark cloud of tariff and inflation worries.
Witkoff told 150.
This is very much about companies and countries that have ripped off this country, our beloved USA, and they're not going to be ripping us off anymore.
President Trump is delaying a month most of the 25% tariffs he imposed Tuesday on imports from Canada and Mexico, saying the Mexican president is doing more to stop the flow of the deadly drug fentanyl. He blames China for sending it, and those tariffs remain in place. China's foreign minister vowed today to keep retaliating with tariffs of their own. The president also says they're making progress in talks with Ukraine to end Russia's war, though Ukraine was hit with another barrage overnight of Russian drones and missiles targeting Ukrainian energy infrastructure. Its president, Volodymyr Zelensky, got support from European leaders at a Brussels summit.
The European Union's promised fighter jets, increased defence spending and theoretical peacekeeping troops. Around 20 countries are reportedly promising some form of assistance. Still, it's going to be hard for Europe to fill the military and diplomatic hole left by the Trump administration's hard line. Attention turns to US-Ukrainian talks taking place next week.
That's Fox's Jonathan Savage. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is going to lead those talks. Meanwhile, President Trump has told Fox's Maria Bartiromo in a Sunday Morning Futures interview that he sent a letter to Iran's supreme leader, worried over Iran's rapidly advancing nuclear program. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A word about construction. You've got a cloudy sky, and it's 36 degrees in the Circle City. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 9:02. Slow down in construction zones. That is the message from the Indiana Department of Transportation. Notices have been issued to nearly 30,000 people who were caught speeding on the northeast side of Indianapolis as part of NDOT's Safe Zone program.
Some of our data from the I-70 zone, drivers were slowing down, even just with the presence of the permanent signage that's in place.
NDOT's Natalie Garrett says that cameras along I-465 and I-69 track cars, and drivers who go more than 11 miles over the 45-mile-an-hour speed limit will get a notice. The fines collected will be put into the state's general fund. If you have not yet traded in your old state identification for a real ID, you only have 2 months left before it will be required for flights and other activities. Sasha Nixon explains.
According to the Indiana BMV, a real ID is indicated by the star in the upper right-hand corner of your driver's license, permit, or state identification card. Starting May 7th, it will be needed to fly and visit or enter certain federal facilities. You can learn more at in.gov/BMV. Sasha Nixon, 93, WIBC Mobile News.
The statewide average for gas today is $2.88 a gallon, according to AAA. If you're a veteran, the Veterans Administration should be more focused on you, says Indiana Republican Senator Jim Banks. In an interview with CNN Thursday, he said he sees no proof that essential VA workers are being cut.
I'm just not seeing it. I mean, the VA is a large bureaucracy. It can be run so much more efficiently. It's not about bricks and mortar and more government employees. It's about the veteran. Put the veteran first.
Banks says he believes cuts will be made in the right places to cut red tape. Zionsville's been named an Indiana Main Street community through the Indiana Office of Community and Rural Affairs. Zionsville Mayor John Stair says this designation opens up resources to them with the state that did not exist before. And for your one-stop traffic resource, here's Matthew Baer.
You got it, John. Looking at the east side, southbound 465 stop-and-go traffic from 75th Street down to East 56th Street. In Hancock County, this is westbound 70 at Fort Phil Pike, where we have a breakdown in the right lane. Traffic sponsored by Lear Capital. Our financial system is cracking under pressure. Your retirement is at risk. Take control now. Lear Capital is offering a free Sky High Silver Report and Precious Metals IRA guide at betternestegg.com. Don't leave your future to chance. I'm Matt Bear with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
That's are us. Point dreams sunk in. That's are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 765-545-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 765-545-BATH.
That's are us. When dreams sunk in. That's are us.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors. For 1951 cabinetry, visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or drexelin.com.
The forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Cloudy with some sprinkles on and off through the day. We'll finish with a high of around 47 this afternoon. Better rain chances coming later this evening with scattered showers. That will wind down after midnight, a low down to 30. Brighter for the weekend. Sunshine Saturday, a high of 46. Warmer on Sunday with sunshine. Highs in the mid-50s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey, 93 WIBC.
And I'm John Herrick on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. 9:06. Time for Kendall and Casey.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Well, good morning. It is Friday, March 7th. It is 6 minutes after 9. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. So yesterday, Donald Trump had I don't want to call it a press rally because he was sitting in the Oval Office and the press were there, but it wasn't really a press conference. It was just him being transparent, I suppose. One of the things that was brought up is he is demanding answers 7 months later about the assassination attempt on his life that happened July 13th at that campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania.
Can I stop you for a second?
Sure.
Because this is just a broad question. I'm not pretending to have all of the answers to this. I'm not being facetious when I ask this. He's been president for a month and a half.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Why are there so many things that he can't and his people can't get answers on? We are hearing the same thing as it relates to the Epstein files. Like, why is it that whether it's the attorney general or the director of the FBI or Trump himself, why is it they can't get answers to these things? I mean, I think it would be as simple as, give me that. No. Okay, you're fired. Next guy, give me that. No. Okay, you're fired. Like, why is it that they cannot get information to these things that seem pretty easy to, the process works now, right? You're in charge of all the things. You have your people in there. Why is it that you can't get the information?
Well, I believe the answer to that is the deep state and mythomania.
But again, I'm going to come back to, give me that. No. You're out.
Well, yesterday, the FBI director from the New York department, he was
sure
he left.
Sure, but we still
to
don't
bagpipe music.
But I thought Pam Bondi was going to get the Epstein files then the next day. Then I mean, Kash Patel said day one. These people are in charge of these things. They're running the show. The deep state can't be that deep that we can't find some person who knows where that file is or those files are and go, here you go, Mr. FBI director. What is Bongino doing? What isn't Bongino some big muckety-muck over there now?
Well,
what are all these people doing?
I think there's a lot of CYA going on, that people were on the wrong side of things, and now they're covering their you-know-what.
Well, it does give credence to the fact that there is some sort of coordinated effort, including people knowing either the stuff doesn't exist, which they keep saying it does. So if it does exist, there has to be some sort of coordinated effort with the people up top knowing why the Epstein stuff isn't getting released. Because they keep saying it exists. They say it exists, say it exists, say it exists.
So where is it at?
And I knew the working theory now is Epstein was working with the Israelis and blah, blah, blah.
It was Mossad or something like that.
Okay, but the point is, you guys look really bad when you make these proclamations. It's sort of like what we're seeing now with the tariffs.
Yeah.
Where you made the proclamation. Some people agree with it, some people don't agree with it. But you're doing the worst thing possible, which is, well, we're kind of half in now. We're kind of halfway out. Well, the damage has already been done to the economy. What are you going to undo that? I mean, it seems like we're going down the sort of same overpromise, underdeliver process that we went through in the first administration, which was a major issue for him.
Well, it seems like maybe we're getting closer and they're trying to smoke out the rats or the bad guys that are in these departments and trying to get to the bottom of things. That's what I'm holding on to that hope.
But okay, and I'm a novice to this, right? I'm just a local bird lawyer here, right, on the radio. I would think as the attorney general or the director of the FBI, you could walk into any room in any department that is under your purview and go, give me, and you would get that thing.
Yeah.
And if you're not getting it, then you would then immediately, in the case of the
That's
Epstein
almost a red flag in itself.
Well,
like,
right.
Okay,
When
we'll get that to you soon.
Wouldn't you be running and calling a press conference saying, this person's preventing, I'm asking the president to call in the National Guard or a gaggle of FBI or CIA or the military in order to get these things? Like, wouldn't you be doing that if you have said these things are that important for all of this time? So to bring this back full circle, and I know we've got this audio we're going to play of Trump, but like it's your assassination. Wouldn't you be demanding from day one, hey, I want everything on the guy that tried to kill me, including why there's nothing on the guy that tried to kill me?
I think he did, actually. And it seems like it's alleged that maybe he hired a private investigator even to get down to the bottom of things.
You're the president.
Yeah.
You have the CIA at your disposal. Aren't they a private investigator?
What if they're in on it?
Well, but this is my point. You've appointed your people to run these operations now. How are you not able to? I mean, I realize.
I think that's all part of it. They got to find out who's with them and who's against them. Because if people are against them, they're going to cover that up.
No, don't give me any more of this. Pam Bondi wrote a letter to Kash Patel, and they're removing names of victims. If you put enough people on it, you could do that in a day or two. Okay? If this is that big of a priority, which they huffed and puffed about day one, it was all the campaign, all of this. Don't give me that. I've been in government. I know how redactions work. If they wanted to get this thing out immediately, they could put as many people on that as they want to get the names of victims redacted. Don't give me that. That is crap. That is crap. There's a reason this stuff is not coming out. Either it doesn't exist or they're deliberately slow walking it. Don't give me that.
Yeah, well, I think you nailed it. Deliberately slow walking it, because if you're playing team sport, you're for or against, and you either want it out there or you don't. And there's the possibility that they're running up against the people who don't.
But they are in charge. Fire them. Hold a press conference. Name the names. Tell the people who they are. You see why I'm getting frustrated with this? Because your people, you got all the people you wanted. Not one cabinet person other than Gates, but he didn't even make it to the process, got refuted by the Senate, right? There's nobody. He got everybody. All your people are in there. All the people that you said are the people to drain this thing out. And yet, it's like
there's a clog.
It's the Keystone Cops. It's the same thing over and over again.
There's a big hairball down
there.
there.
What did Trump say?
Okay, well, he was expressing his frustration over the lack of information. He said that Biden should have released details earlier, but he said that he's going to be releasing reports on the assassination attempts against his life soon.
The other one had 7 or 6 cell phones. And I don't have 6 cell phones. And why would somebody have 6 cell phones? So we're going to be releasing a report on that soon, Peter.
But based on what you're saying right there, the lack of information and the data points that you just gave, does that make you think that there's some part of that there's some bigger...
It could be. Well, it makes other people think that. It makes me think it a little bit, too. I say, when you have 3 apps and 2 of them are foreign, and you had an FBI that wouldn't report on it, they didn't want to say why, I would say that could be suspicious. And then on the second assassin, you had, and by the way, I have to tell you, Secret Service did a great job on that by spotting him. But on the second one, he had 6 cell phones. That's a lot of cell phones.
Yeah, and okay, you can say whatever you want about the Epstein thing. We're redacting the names of these victims, et cetera. That is, again, complete crap that if you wanted to get that done, because the whole premise of Drain the Swamp is we're going to tell you what's going on in your government, right? This is my beef with how they treat Edward Snowden. Edward Snowden is a fugitive from justice for telling you how your government abused you. That is what he is currently living in exile for and can never come back to this country because he told you how specifically your government was abusing you. This is the same thing. If the only concern with Epstein is the victims, which we were told that Epstein wasn't some secret agent or some foreign agent or anything else, then what other thing are we redacting? Same thing goes with the shooter. Unless there was some undercover operation tracking this guy where some secret government operative was in on it, then what are we redacting?
Yeah.
What is there? And this is what is infuriating, is they do not appear to be willing or able to answer these questions. And then Trump, why are you blaming Biden? You've been the president for a month and a half. Again, certain things are Biden's fault, right? And you can totally, for a period of time, blame him. You are in charge. You can't say Biden didn't release it. You're not releasing it.
Okay, so let's talk about another thing that's going on with Donald Trump. And is the pause on or off? I mean, it seems to change every other day. I'm talking about the tariffs, the 25% tariffs on U.S. imports from Mexico and Canada under that 2020 trade agreement. They're paused again, right?
Oh, I don't know. Let's talk about it when we come back.
It is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Another update is just minutes away.
As if the U.S. cut off military aid with Ukraine trying to end that war with Russia.
Hear the news.
To get down a framework for a peace agreement.
President Trump's put on hold tariffs he imposed on imports from Canada and Mexico.
On the level.
28,000 warnings were issued in January.
On the go.
Speed cameras along I-465. Check the mail. You might have gotten a warning.
Drivers were slowing down.
Cuts to essential jobs at the VA.
I'm not convinced that that's happening.
93 WIBC Mobile News.
Transform your home with Galaxy Concrete Coatings. Say goodbye to cracked, stained floors and hello to durable, stunning surfaces that last. Their cutting-edge technology ensures a beautiful finish every time, and you get to pick out from their many colors. Upgrade your home today like I did. Galaxy Concrete Coatings. They're for garage floors, driveways, pool decks, and patios. They come with a lifetime warranty and one-day professional installation. Call now for a free estimate. 877-417-0635. They're also online at galaxyconcretecoatings.com.
You wake up feeling like you just boxed 12 rounds. Some wake up sweating with sore jaws, headaches, and a lot of our patients complain of brain fog. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula, and these signs, often joined with snoring, are sleep apnea symptoms. And if this sounds like you may have been in a struggle last night between you and this serious disorder. Many people aren't willing to fight back. But the fact is, you can't go through these nightly struggles without ramifications that each night chip away at your life's expiration date. I get it. You don't want to wear a CPAP mask. You may find out you don't need one. We have every effective sleep apnea solution available. And believe me, the mask is the last resort.
It's time to take action to stop your sleep struggle. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
Spring is finally here, and so are spring projects. So get them started at Harbor Freight's parking lot sale. Happening now. Save on products like pressure washers for $69.99, 42-inch roller cabinets for under $500, plus 30% off Hercules corded power tools. Whatever you do, do it for less at Harbor Freight. Valid until 3/9/25 while supplies last. Limitations apply, so spring in before it's over.
From a fast break to recovery, Indiana hospitals are here for every Hoosier, regardless of their ability to pay. That's why we're teaming up with legislators on a winning playbook to lower costs and protect access to care across our communities. Because good policy doesn't leave anyone on the sidelines. Learn more at HoosierLifeline.com.
Paid for by the Indiana Hospital Association.
I gotta make a confession.
What's that?
I freely admit you used a word last segment.
Yeah?
I had no idea what it was.
Yeah, I did.
Sounded like it could be a swear word. So I just thought if I didn't acknowledge it, maybe... Or
Do you even remember what the word was?
Well, sounded like something that could also be a kink or a fetish for someone. So as a
probably is for some people.
As a family program, I didn't want to do a deep dive into that either. But then you said no, it is not a swear word, nor is it a kink fetish word either. So it's appropriate to say on a family oriented program.
Yeah, well, we were talking about Donald Trump and why the information hasn't been released about the assassination attempts against his life, like who done it. And my answer was that it's deep state or mythomania. And then you just let that go.
Well, because I didn't know, and I didn't want to put this show in jeopardy. And sometimes you are just wildly inappropriate, and so you lack the proper filters.
Right,
necessary
I can't control myself.
This sort of highbrow entertainment.
Yeah,
and I just let it go. But you were telling me it is what is it?
Pathological lying.
Why don't you just say that? Why did you feel like you had to use that big word? I mean,
yeah.
Oh, you were gearing up for it, weren't you? You saw that somewhere. I know you well. You saw that word somewhere, and you said, "I'm going to whip that bad boy out."
That's
today.
right.
Now, I
That's
know
right.
you. I've worked with you for 3 years. Yes.
It was in my calendar word of the day.
Oh, I knew it. All right.
So that's the word for today.
So you would say something like, the Indiana General Assembly is a bunch of mythomaniacs.
Very good use of the word, Rob.
Those local government people who testified on Senate Bill 1 the other day are a bunch of mythomaniacs.
That's it.
Perfect.
Precisely. So now feel free to go ahead and use that word throughout the day, okay?
I'm going to... You think that isn't going to show up in our speech at the rally at the State House on March the 17th?
That'll be the theme.
Oh, you darn bet you, lady.
Okay, what's going on with the tariffs? Are they on pause? They're on pause, aren't they?
I don't know.
Trump granted a 1-month exemption to the 25% tariffs. These on the vehicles and auto parts from Mexico and Canada. This after discussions with Ford and GM and Stellantis. But then that broadened to include imports from Mexico and Canada. The thing I don't understand about what's going on with Canada and these tariffs is they're like shelving all of the booze that they've already purchased. How does that make any sense?
Well, it's the same argument that we've had about the people who burn the jerseys of an athlete when they leave in free agency. What does that prove? The jersey's already been sold. The guy's already checked out. Trump is handling this very poorly, and I'm going to talk about on 2 levels where he's handled it very poorly. One is he has failed to articulate why he's doing this. Simply saying you're getting screwed, that works okay on a campaign, but it doesn't work okay in terms of actual public policy. And I think why the primary reason he's doing this is to try to get cooperation from the Mexican and Canadian governments on drug enforcement and illegal immigration enforcement, which is fine. That is a case, if it's made in specific detail to the American people, of this is what needs to be done to fix the flow of fentanyl into this country and illegal immigration from both the North and the South. This is what these governments are doing, or in this case, not doing. This is what I have said in order to lift the tariffs I need them to do. Then we can all play ball and judge it together. Because I think most people say, hey, he's right. The drugs are totally out of control. The illegal immigration is totally out of control. And by the way, he's doing a job with the border because you don't hear about the crossings. If it were out of control or he hadn't fixed it or it wasn't getting better, you'd hear about it every day. See, Trump failed there too. You don't hear boo about the crossings at the border, which means it's getting
under control.
It is getting better, right? I'm not saying it's fixed, but it is clearly getting better. But the point is, that's a worthy debate and discussion. Are we willing to feel a little bit of pain so that your kids don't have to worry about consuming dangerous fentanyl, and we don't have people like the dude who killed Laken Riley coming into this country? He's not articulating that well. He's not making that sales point. So I think a lot of people are going, okay, I get that we have a trade imbalance, but is that really worth screwing the economy up? And so I think he's losing that battle. The second thing is there appears to be no strategy other than what he wakes up and thinks of every single day. If you're in on the tariffs until you get what you want, then you got to be in on the tariffs until you get what you want, because now he's backtracking and people like Trudeau are taking victory laps going, see, this ding dong wasn't serious. Anyway, this guy didn't mean it. I mean, you can't be, it's like a little bit pregnant. Either you are pregnant or you're not. Either we're in on the tariffs or you're not. And he looks pretty weak right now, backtracking out of this so quickly.
Okay, a couple of thoughts on what you just said. One, you said what he wakes up and thinks of every day. I'm not sure that he wakes up in the morning and says, oh, let's do this today. I think he's had quite a while to think about what he wants to do while he was sitting in the wings when Biden was president and while he was campaigning as well. There's a possibility he's been planning this for a long time.
Wait. Time out. You think this has been his strategy?
He talked about it with Maria Bartiromo a long time ago.
That he's just going to arbitrarily change his mind from one day to the next?
Not change the dates of it, but the tariff idea has been on the table for a while.
But Casey, we're talking about apples and oranges here. I'm okay if he wants to do the tariffs if he's going to articulate why he's doing it. What I'm not okay with, because the economy, the market works. There's good news, there's bad news. The market deals with news all the time. Mm-hmm. What the market does not do well with is uncertainty. He's creating mass uncertainty right now,
which is affecting things on Wall Street.
I'm not disputing with you that he wanted to do the tariffs. What I'm disputing is he's actually doing more harm than good by just willy-nilly
changing the date,
changing his mind on stuff.
Got it. So the press secretary, Caroline Levitt, she said that Trump urged the companies to start shifting production to the United States. And I believe it was announced last weekend that is a Honda Civic going to start being produced here in Indiana.
Right.
So that's a positive to the great state of Indiana that production will be here.
I don't understand why he started the thing and then backed it off. I mean, he did it right the first time, which is, okay, I'm going to do this. Cool, we got a 30-day pause. You guys are going to do the things that we said. They didn't do the things we said. So then you got two options. You can either start the thing and now we're in. Now we're going forward. Or you can say, hey, they're getting closer. If you want to spin it, we're getting closer. We need another 15 days or whatever. But he did the harm to the economy. He already harmed the economy. Now he's backed out of it. So now you don't have much more than what you had before. You still don't have them doing the stuff on the border. And you tanked is all relevant. But the stock market was punished because it's like, do it or don't.
Well, it almost seems like he had this plan, and then he talked to the automakers, and they were like, okay, yeah, we get it, moving production back to the U.S. It's going to take a little ramp-up time. We've got a little bit of inventory, but just give us a little bit more time to get caught up. And the part where you said Justin Trudeau doesn't care, I don't know. He broke down crying yesterday.
On a personal level, I've made sure that every single day in this office, I put Canadians first, that I have people's backs. And that's why I'm here to tell you all that we got you. Even in the very last days of this government, we will not let Canadians down today and long into the future.
But that guy would cry at a bowel movement, Casey. I mean, and Tony said this the other day, so if you want to get mad at me, you get mad at Tony too, because he's right. Trump has really done nothing but embolden the Canadian people to continue supporting Trudeau, who is on his way out the door. All this, Canada's going to be the 51st state, we're going to this, we're going to that. None of that's ever going to happen. It's pissing those people off, and it's like the Animal House thing. He can't do that to our pledges. Only we can do that to our pledges, right? And so when he makes these threats or starts this thing and then backs off, Trudeau looks like the tough guy because Trudeau is getting what he wants, which is these tariffs removed, while Trump is, and the similar thing with Mexico, Trump is looking like the guy who's backing down, and Trump is the one creating all of the uncertainty.
Well, when you talk about the uncertainty and you have to assess your future risks, does it make you worried? Do you feel like things are chaotic right now? Does it make you think, oh boy, things are going to get worse before they get better?
I think Trump listens to a lot of people, which is a big mistake. And I think it's the last person that gets his ear oftentimes or whispers the right sweet nothings into his ear that gets to drive the policy. And this was a major issue in the first term, and it appears like it's continuing again in the second. The policy is the policy. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, you say you tried. I'm desperate to get the border secure. I'm willing to do everything in my power to stop our children from dying of fentanyl. But when you're in and out, back and forth, up and down, you're not showing that you're really all that wed to anything.
There's no conviction.
And then your whole thing is, I'm the toughest negotiator in the whole world. Well, people know you're going to back down, like with Ukraine. Well, now they're going to start seeing this and go, well, he'll just do that here too. He'll just keep giving us this money. I think
if you're going to saber rattle, you got to stick with something.
I think you're all in or you don't get in at all, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so when we come back, Casey, and I know that it's, based on the poor singing orphans we heard from the other day at the General Assembly, that it's probably taboo to insinuate that in any way, shape, or form that local governments might be a little bit inefficient or ineffective with your tax dollars. But we did find one member of local government, and he's on the Indianapolis City County Council, who said, there really isn't a revenue problem. There's an allocation of money problem. And gosh darn it, Case, I don't know where you've heard that before.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, Josh Bain from the Indianapolis. He actually sounds like a Batman villain / an Indianapolis City County councilor. He's going to be with us to talk about the ineffective way in which the city prioritizes your money and how if they did a better job of that, you'd get better services. And you might be able to get property tax relief, too.
Josh Bain joins us next on 93 WIBC.
When you switch to Progressive, you could save bundling your home and auto. Then you could put that money towards some of the surprisingly more expensive things in life.
May I help you? I just wanted to request a late checkout, please.
Of course. That's $30 per hour for up to 4 hours.
Huh. Okay, but if you can offer a late checkout, then that probably means no one is staying in that room. So if it's empty, maybe I can just stay a few extra hours.
Oh, aren't you adorable?
Life costs a lot, so bundle and you could save with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Why 3 people in Warren Township are facing battery charges. You've got a cloudy sky, and it's 36 degrees in downtown Indy. 46 is the high today. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 9:30. There was a fight on a school bus Thursday.
And they go for any one of you on this mother bus. And I'm going to tell
Police say a woman and her 2 kids got on the bus and attacked an 8th grader. They're looking at all angles of the video, which has been circulated on social media more than 100,000 times. Former Canadian Olympic snowboarder Ryan Wedding is now on the FBI's top 10 most wanted fugitives list.
Wedding went from being an elite athlete to running one of the most sophisticated drug trafficking networks in North America.
FBI Assistant Director Akil David said at a news conference Thursday they have strong evidence to believe that Wedding moved cocaine from Colombia through Mexico and Southern California up to Canada and to other places in the U.S. The finalists have now been chosen for this year's 2025 World Video Game Hall of Fame induction ceremony. The field of nominees includes Frogger, GoldenEye, and Tamagotchi, as well as newer games such as Angry Birds and Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. Each game is judged on criteria like having an extended influence on the video game industry or popular culture in general. And your opening bell report on 93 WIBC, brought to you by Absolute Wealth Management, LLC. So far, the Dow is down 124 points to 42,454. The NASDAQ is down 22 points to 18,047. And the S&P 500 is down 9 points to 5,729. I'm John Herrick on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
This is the story of the one. As a quality technician in a food processing center, she knows that making the right call is the best way to avoid a recall. That's why she trusts Grainger's world-class supply chain to deliver the high-quality supplies she needs to help keep her production line, her equipment, and her customers happy and healthy. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Are you ready to take control of your safety? Premier Arms is the place to consider. They're more than just a gun store. Premier Arms is a community for empowered women dedicating to helping you find the perfect firearm. Hey, it's Casey Daniels. That's how I felt when I shopped at Premier Arms. I asked them a lot of questions, and you know what? They treated me with respect. Premier Arms is in Brownsburg. They're also online at premierarms.com. Their phone number, 317-858-3030.
When you're hiring,
Have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey, Bill, where you been? You're overdue for a haircut.
Man, listen, my water pipes burst and flooded my house. Place a mess. I've been staying with my daughter till I can figure out what to do.
You trying to fix it and move back in?
No way. It's too big a mess. It'll cost me tens of thousands of dollars. I ain't got that kind of money.
You trying to sell it then?
Well, that's what I'd like to do, but who's going to buy my house in this condition?
Did you call Simple Quarters?
Simple Quarters?
Simple Quarters bought our house when we were in a jam. We needed to move real quick. They closed fast and gave us cash.
Simple Quarters will buy in any condition?
That's right. They buy as is. You don't have to repair anything or clean anything out. It's simple.
What do I have to do?
Just call them. They'll do a quick walkthrough, then they'll make you an offer.
Simple Quarters is a local Christian company that loves to help people in difficult situations. Call Simple Quarters at 317-900-HOME. That's 317-900-HOME. Check us out at simplequarters.com.
Best decision I ever made was having Window Nation windows installed in my house, saving me a bunch of money on energy. My old windows were cracked and drafty and letting the air through. Window Nation came in and took care of all that within a day. And you know what? Window Nation windows are high quality and affordable. Right now, you can get 2 windows free with every 2 you buy. And you can get 0 interest and 0 payments for 2 years. Pay nothing until 2027.
This is the deal you want. 2 windows for free with every 2 that you buy. Plus 0 interest, 0 payments for 2 years. Pay nothing until 2027. Call a representative at Window Nation right now. They will walk you through the entire process. 866-90-NATION. Get that fast, free estimate right now with Window Nation. 866-90-NATION or go to windownation.com.
Casey.
Yeah, Rob.
Yeah, you know, we've heard a lot the past month or so about how there's just not enough money for these local governments.
No, I know. They came out in droves to that House Ways and Means Committee to say, you know, we need money.
Yeah, they're doing
Give us your money.
They're doing a splendid job. They've cut everywhere there is to cut. They've found every inefficiency there is to find.
Yeah.
And if you get any property tax relief, the lights are going out.
Yeah.
And the
libraries were closed.
Oh, my goodness.
Closed. No snow plows, no lights.
Except, there's one person in local government who says, that might not be the whole story.
Really?
I think we could do better.
Oh.
His name is Josh Bain. He's a member of the Indianapolis City County Council. He joins us now. Josh Bain, hello.
Hey, good morning. Appreciate being with you all.
So Josh came running to me, raising his hands, flapping his arms wildly, and said, no. There's plenty of inefficiencies that can be found in local government. And you were saying specifically you have struggled at this length, Josh, with the Indianapolis City County Council. You said, we have plenty of money. It's not a lack of money. It's how we spend the money. And that's why things like roads don't get fixed properly.
Yeah, for sure. I was not one of the local government leaders going to the State House asking them to not move forward with the property tax relief bill. Just last year, I'm realizing now that it was kind of Doge before Doge was cool, but I authored a proposal that basically would have went through and divided the entire city budget into two columns. We had essential government functions, things that I think every single person can agree on that local government needs to do. That's public safety, so police, fire, emergency response, and infrastructure. And I think beyond that, you start really getting a lot of detractors when it's like, well, is that actually an essential government function? And so in the other bucket was things like parks, it was libraries, things that we all agree are important, but it's not necessarily an essential government function. It's more of what I like to call the accoutrements of local government. And so I basically said, look, I was elected to the city county council in 2020, and since then, my parks haven't got better, my libraries haven't got better, my roads have gotten worse, but yet these budgets keep going up and up and up and up.
Yeah, so real quick, I'm going to cut you off. Josh Bain's our guest. He's with the Indianapolis City County Council. I think this is the frustration. There's two parts of frustration with this. One is what you're saying, which is everybody believes the toilets need to flush, the faucets need to turn on, the police need to show up, the fire need to show up, the roads need to be passable. Everybody agrees with that. But then when you get things like a $58.5 million taxpayer-funded hotel in Carmel or the one in Indianapolis, which, Josh, do we know what the overrun on the taxpayer-funded hotel in Indianapolis is now? Do we know what that is?
I know a proposal's about to come back for us asking for additional resources. The previous time, I know that passed along party lines because Republicans stood in the gap and said, yeah, there's no way that we can be supporting this when, like I was saying, we can't even fix our roads in our city.
Right. So it's like, it was safe to say that the taxpayer-funded hotel in Indianapolis will be well over $100 million. Is that safe?
That's probably fair at the end of the day.
Okay, so $100+ million for a taxpayer-funded hotel in Indianapolis, $36 million for a G League arena for the Pacers in Noblesville, the Fishers Coliseum or whatever that thing is called for the fuel. You've got this open air thing they're looking at building in Westfield. I think this is where people get pissed off, Josh, is they're saying, I don't mind paying for the stuff, but don't put me on the verge of eviction from my home or struggling to pay for my mortgage because you guys want all this other stuff and then cry poverty if we say we want property tax relief.
Yeah, for sure. And I think this gets to, the crux of the argument when we talk about property taxes because, I'm one of the people, I love Representative Prescott's proposal. I would love to see Indiana do something very bold. No other state in the entire nation has eliminated property taxes. We have a few that have eliminated income taxes, and look, they get a lot of business for it. Like, you always hear, well, Florida, a lot of people move there because they don't have a state income tax. Well, what if Indiana could be mentioned? A lot of people move there because Indiana doesn't have property tax. They're the only state in the nation that doesn't have property tax. So I would love to see the conversation start going in that direction.
I'm curious, Josh, are you the sole survivor on the council who feels this way?
No, there's a lot of people on the council that feel this way. And believe it or not, I think it's on both sides of the aisle. I think some people on the other side of the aisle get upset as well when they can't, get their streets paved and everything. But again, that's when you start looking at, okay, well, are we going to cut spending or are we just going to try to raise taxes? And I've already heard grumblings about that when it comes to infrastructure. There was a bill introduced earlier this year at the legislature that would have allowed Indianapolis-Marion County to do a referendum on property taxes at the same time when we're talking about cutting property taxes all over the state. So, it just really wasn't jiving with me. That's been eliminated. And, that road funding bill is actually in a great place right now. So really appreciate a lot of the work that, like Representative Pressel's been doing on it, Representative Ireland, Julie McGuire. So, we're really getting that into a great place where we will actually see some relief for local governments when it comes to infrastructure funding. But that has to be like our top priority when it comes to local governments is what are the essential functions that you have to do? And if you're not even doing those well, why are we spending money on all of these other, like I said, accoutrements of local government?
Josh Bain is our guest. He's with the Indianapolis City County Council. We're talking about these inefficiencies in local governments. By the way, Josh, you want to come speak at our rally on Monday, like a week from Monday? You want to come? I got a team of local government people I'm putting together. You want to come? You want in?
Yeah, I'm happy to do that.
Perfect.
I did just have a baby yesterday, so maybe have a backup for me just in case. But, no, I'd love to do that.
Okay, very good. We'll sign you up. I got a couple other a real motley crew of local government people. All right. So one thing I want to come back to is you talked about dividing this thing into essential services, the things we all agree that have to happen in order for society to work, right? Like the police, the fire, the roads, the snowplow. Let's fully fund all those. Then we'll use the money for all the rest of the stuff. What was the response from your colleagues on the council and the mayor's office when you said, hey, we should do this?
Well, I think first off, they were shocked that, I had actually put in that amount of work on it because there was a big asset management study done in like 2019, 2020, and I put that into a formula to account for inflation, additional construction costs, and all that since then. And we have a $1.65 billion city budget. It came out that 750 to 800 million of that was the non-essential government functions. And so that's where I was like, okay, well, we're going to take those.
What was the number again, Josh? What was the number of the $1.65 billion? What was the number was non-essential?
Yeah, it was $750 million.
So basically half, roughly half, just under half of the city's budget is non-essential stuff.
Yeah, in my view, I would call that non-essential. So, yeah, I said, okay, we're going to take that bucket of funding, those budgets, and we're going to go back to 2020 because, again, they haven't improved since then. So, the city of Indianapolis shouldn't be seeing a decline in those services. And, that resulted in about $225 million that I said, okay, we're going to send that straight into infrastructure because we have to fix our city roads. There's that study that I referenced earlier. It says we have to be spending close to $600 to $700 million a year on our roads in our city, and we're spending pennies compared to that. So when we talk about how big the city-county enterprise is, how many lane miles we have to take care of, there's no reason why DPW shouldn't be like half our city budget, kind of like what education is for at the state level. It's half the state budget. And so, I was like, we really have to start, choosing what our priorities are. And that proposal that I had, every Republican voted for it on the city county council. Every Democrat voted against it. And we even had some Democrats run for other offices last year after having voted against it. And it became a huge issue in their campaign that they voted to keep government spending as it is and not prioritize essential city services.
All right, Josh, man, we appreciate this because I think it's great to see people in local government who are willing to raise their hand and go, you know what, we can do better with the money we have. We can help the people out and still provide the vital services. And I think this is a great example of somebody who's trying to do that, who's saying, look, there's all this money that's getting spent on things that don't have anything to do with your day-to-day existence.
Right. My takeaway from this whole conversation is the management of the money and the prioritization of it.
Yeah. Josh, thanks, man. I appreciate you, and keep up the good work on the City County Council.
Appreciate it. Have a good one.
Yeah, and congratulations on that baby. It is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel show, 3 o'clock this afternoon. It's Beer Sample Friday. We're going to have some barguments and the biggest stories in Indy. Join us and let's roll.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Billy, your gas light's on. We need to stop and fill up.
No way, Jen. Gas around here is too expensive. We can make it a little further.
Billy, listen to your big sister. You don't need to drive all over searching for the lowest gas prices. Do what I do and use Upside.
Upside?
Do you live under a rock, Billy? Upside is the hottest cashback app out there. It's free to download, and you get real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. I use it all the time, and I've already made around $200.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying the gas you have to buy anyway?
Yes, I'm looking at the Upside app now, and there's a gas station at the next exit offering 25 cents per gallon cash back.
Okay, I'm stopping to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code KIND to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code KIND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code KIND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Guy Relford here. Time again for the Indy 1500 Gun and Knife Show this coming weekend at the State Fairgrounds, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There's never been a more important time to exercise our rights as true Americans. It's the Indy 1500 Gun and Knife Show. See the best in sporting, hunting, and personal protection gear, plus great displays of Americana. Come see us this weekend at the Indy 1500 Gun and Knife Show, Friday 2 to 7, Saturday 9 to 6, and Sunday 9 to 4. It's the Indy 1500 Gun and Knife Show. See you there.
Health gives you the ability to love more, feel more, be more. Health gives you the ability to live an extraordinary life. Because every day, no matter the challenges, is a chance to breathe, laugh until your belly aches, cry because you care so much, and experience everything that makes your life truly extraordinary. For 150 years, Franciscan Health has been there, watching extraordinary lives unfold. Love your extraordinary life.
During tax season, your info travels lots of places you can't control.
W-2 arriving from payroll platform 3.
Everything criminals need to steal your identity is on your W-2.
Last call for accountant and home office, 1 minute.
LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points per second.
Tax preparation data centers with service to IRS. All aboard.
If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Nobody cares for you like family. Family Heating and Air.
We set out to be the very best of the best, and past couple years we've actually achieved that. For all of the state of Indiana, we've been awarded the Dealer of the Year award twice now. Unlike other brands, that only gets handed to one dealer every year, and we're very proud to have won that twice.
Put the best to work for you at FamilyHVAC.net. Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
I will never forget the day we found out my brother needed a heart transplant. Sure, you hear about people needing an organ sometimes, but it doesn't feel real until you're the one waiting. I tell you, we're just thankful. God answered our prayers. But my brother wouldn't be alive today without that transplant. That's why I signed up to be an organ donor at the BMV, because I want to be the answer to someone else's prayers.
Sign up to be an organ donor. Say yes the next time you're at the BMV.
You want to listen all day to WIBC, but you don't always have time. Don't worry. There's a podcast for that. The WIBC Mashup. Daily highlights from your favorite hosts, Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey, and Hammer and Nigel. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
Do you remember who Sam Bankman-Fried is? He's the FTX guy, fraud.
Crypto
guy.
He was the dude who created this elaborate scheme where he was getting all this money and then pumping it into cryptocurrency.
Mm-hmm.
And he had all these celebrities on board with him. And then basically he was an American greed character. He was the money was going to expenditures and everything else that he then could not return the money to the investors, correct?
Mm-hmm. That's the guy.
And then I'm trying to recall this. One of the things that came out with the FTX guy was that he got a bunch of Ukrainian money, and it ended up back in the hands of Democrat campaign causes.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
He did an interview with Tucker Carlson. He said that he planned to appear with Tucker years ago, never did.
We're talking billions of dollars, by the way, that this guy was just gone ski.
Yeah, just gone. And he finally did the interview with Tucker Carlson. He did it from jail. It was like over Zoom. And he said that one of the things that is happening is he's sharing a prison unit with Sean Combs.
Oh.
P. Diddy.
So he should probably be worried about unaliving himself.
Well, that's one of the things they talked about, and Tucker Carlson asked him, what was Diddy like?
So what's Diddy like?
Obviously I've only seen one piece of him, which is, Diddy in prison. And, he's been kind to people in the unit. He's been kind to me. It's a position no one wants to be in. Obviously he doesn't, as you said, it's kind of a soul crushing place for the world in general. And what we see are just the people that are around us on the inside rather than who we are on the outside.
Oh, I'm sure. And you're two of the most famous prisoners in the world in the same unit. What do the armed robbers think?
Well, it's a really interesting question. And of course, some of them are, I think are thinking like, wow, this is sort of a big opportunity, to meet people they wouldn't otherwise get to meet, which is, it shocked me the first time I heard that. Right. It makes sense from their perspective, but boy, is that not how I think about prison.
Sorry to laugh. No, that's such a good. I bet it's not how you think about it. No,
it's not. And laughing's all you can do sometimes. There's no better alternative. They're good at chess. That's one thing I learned. Former armed robbers who don't speak English, and probably didn't graduate middle school. Are a surprising number of them are like fairly good at chess. Like, I'm not saying they're grandmasters, but like, I lose games to them all the time. I was not expecting that.
So he's famous in jail, Rob.
Well, which is what he craved. Isn't it fascinating, too? The guy, if you've never seen this guy, he looks like the Jonah Goldberg character in Superbad.
Mm-hmm.
And he somehow got all these people to give him all this money and was palling around with all these celebrities. And it's like, even like Tom Brady was linked in with this guy, wasn't he? And it's like, you look at this guy, and it's like, who would have fallen for that? I mean, I get that looks aren't everything, but you just look at this guy and go, does this really look like a billionaire to you?
Yeah, he was a real huckster, right? He really swindled all of those people thinking that he was this crypto genius.
He touched on something that my old man used to tell me all the time, because he dealt with these sort of people all the time. And he used to say, I remember as a kid, him saying, the people that I deal with, some of them are really, there were some idiots, obviously, but there were some of these criminals he used to deal with were some of the brightest people you would ever encounter, and if they had used their mind for good,
right,
the amount of things they could have accomplished, but they're evil, right? So they don't. But he kind of touched on that, right?
With the chess,
right?
Like they were smart enough to do that.
It's not that they're stupid. It's that they're evil, that they're bad guys.
That they're making bad choices. He expressed disappointment also that nobody from the Democrat Party came to his aid during his legal troubles. And that he said that he had started leaning towards switching to the Republican Party right around the time the company's fraud was exposed.
Oh, he was the old switcheroos. Now, what would have been interesting, though, is see if the Republicans would have taken the money the same way the Democrats did, and I bet the answer is yes.
Yeah, and it would still have, disappeared, and nobody would have returned it, right? Yeah. It's Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
That I heard you sing.
What a day.
You're working too hard.
We're both working too hard with even less to show for it.
What's this?
It's the bills for Tracy's procedure.
This is outrageous.
I know. And Mom just said her prescriptions went up again.
How can working people afford this?
These medical bills are crushing our finances, and these hospitals and insurance groups are making record profits.
I read Indiana has the 9th highest healthcare costs in the nation, and prescription drug costs are out of control.
That's why I voted for Mike Braun. He has a plan to reform Indiana's broken healthcare system. Braun's plan calls for billing transparency, increased access, and lower costs for all Hoosiers.
I hear you. It's good to know help is on the way. Mike Braun's plan will offer real relief for our family budget.
Sign the petition for Braun's healthcare plan at HoosierHope.org. Join Mike Braun's fight for healthcare reform today. Paid for by HoosierHope.org.
Whether you're preparing for retirement, navigating a life transition, or simply wondering if you're on the right path, Howard Bailey Financial is here to help. Together, we'll work on a personalized plan designed to bring greater clarity to your goals and help you approach decisions with confidence. It's not just about numbers, it's about the life you want to lead and the legacy you want to leave behind. With over 20 years of experience, Howard Bailey Financial has been dedicated to guiding individuals as they work toward taking control of their financial future and finding peace of mind. Text PATH to 888-262-1104 to download a free retirement toolkit and start planning for the retirement you've dreamed of. Howard Bailey Financial, helping you turn hope into a plan and dreams into reality. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
Why do so many foundation, basement, and crawl space companies ask for half your money up front? Could it be because that's easier to get than earning all your trust? At the Michaelis Corporation, they believe trust is earned, not demanded. That's why they do things differently. They start with a free inspection, no strings attached, to give you an honest assessment of what your home needs. No pressure, no surprises. When it's time for the work, they don't ask for a deposit or any upfront payment. Not a single dollar until the job is complete and you're 100% satisfied. That's how they've been earning trust for over 39 years. Whether it's sagging floors, moisture control, concrete repair, or a full crawl space encapsulation, you can count on Michaelis for repairs that last. Don't trust just anyone with your home. Choose the company that puts your trust first. Text or call 844-FIXED-INDY today. That's 844-FIXED-INDY. The Michaelis Corporation, building trust beneath your feet.
From a fast break to recovery, Indiana hospitals are here for every Hoosier, regardless of their ability to pay. That's why we're teaming up with legislators on a winning playbook to lower costs and protect access to care across our communities. Because good policy doesn't leave anyone on the sidelines. Learn more at HoosierLifeline.com.
Paid for by the Indiana Hospital Association.
During tax season, your info travels lots of places you can't control.
W-2 arriving from payroll platform 3.
Everything criminals need to steal your identity is on your W-2.
Last call for accountant and home office, 1 minute.
LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points per second.
Tax preparation data centers with service to IRS. All aboard.
If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recycler Studios, what happened on a school bus is at the center of a police investigation. You'll hear how. A drug bust in Johnson County, what police say they found and who was arrested, and how speed cameras are having an effect on the interstate and possibly your wallet. Those stories and more after Fox News on 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis, and it's now 10 o'clock.
A message to Iran. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, from President Trump, who told Fox's Maria Bartiromo for her Fox Sunday Morning Future show he's hoping to avoid going to war, but has concerns about Iran's advancing nuclear technology, fear to be potentially building weapons.
I hope that Iran, and I've written him a letter saying, I hope you're going to negotiate, because if we have to go in militarily, it's going to be a terrible thing for them.
The president's also making a threat to a different adversary. On Truth Social, after another overnight barrage of Russian drones and missiles on Ukraine, he wrote, since Russia's absolutely pounding Ukraine on the battlefield, he's strongly considering large-scale banking sanctions and tariffs on Russia until there's a ceasefire and peace agreement. Now, this comes a week after the contentious meeting at the White House between the president and Ukraine's leader Volodymyr Zelensky. U.S. Middle East envoy Steve Witkoff says he could return.
The president has said that there's a path back, and President Zelensky has demonstrated that he's intent on that good faith path back. He's apologized. He said he's grateful. He said that he wants to work towards peace.
Next Tuesday, Witkoff and Secretary of State Marco Rubio will hold talks in Saudi Arabia with Ukrainian leaders. In an hour in Florida, the man accused of the second Trump assassination attempt has a hearing. Fox's Dana Marie McNichol outside the court in Fort Pierce.
Ryan Ruth was spotted with an assault rifle waiting 12 hours along that fence line of Trump International Golf Course last September. Law enforcement arrested him after he fled the scene, and now President Trump is looking for answers specifically about why Ruth had so many cell phones when he was arrested.
The second one, he had 6 cell phones. That's a lot of cell phones.
We got this update to the economy this morning.
Job growth improved in February from January. 151,000 new positions were created compared with the revised reading of 125,000.
That's Fox's Ginny Casola. The unemployment rate rose a tenth to 4.1%. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
A fight on a school bus. All clear on your radar right now. 39 degrees in the Circle City. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 10:02. That happened in Warren Township on Thursday.
Stop jumping him! Wait, don't jump him!
The video circulating on social media capturing the incident. Police say they arrested 3 people who boarded the bus and fought a student. They're still sorting through the video. An illegal narcotics lab found in Greenwood Thursday. During the search, members of the Narcotics Division say along with the narcotics, they also found a laboratory actively set up to manufacture a hallucinogenic narcotic. They believe LSD was being produced there. 4 people arrested. You might have noticed new speed speed cameras on I-465. Matt Baer reports.
Check the mail. You might have gotten a warning. 28,000 warnings were issued in January for speeders on I-465 on the northeast side. That's the Clearpath construction zone. The warnings come from the new speed cameras that snap a picture of your plate. Right now, you just get a warning in zones. That ends in the spring. Natalie Garrett of INDOT says that the cameras seem to be effective.
Some of our data from the I-70 zone, drivers were slowing down even just with the presence of the permanent signage that's in place. Since the speed cameras are a pilot program, the ones on I-70 in Hancock County are no longer active. Matt Baer, WIBC Traffic.
Gunfire at the home of a police chaplain on Indy's Far East Side Thursday night. IMPD says shots were fired at the home, but no one was hurt. They're trying to find suspects. And the Indiana Hoosier men's basketball team closes out the regular season tomorrow against Ohio State at 3:45. Pregame coverage beginning at 2:45 right here on 93 WIBC. After beating Oregon in the Big Ten tournament on Thursday, the Indiana women's basketball team plays USC today in the Big Ten tournament quarterfinal at noon over at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. I'm John Herrick on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. WIBC News Time, 10:04. Kendall and Casey coming back in 1 minute.
Hey, guys, it's Rob. It's March, and that means spring is right around the corner. And this spring, you can make your yard look great after some tough winter weather by calling my friends from Save a Tree. Last week, Sean from Save a Tree came out to my house, and man, I'll tell you what, I couldn't be more pleased with the free consultation. I know by the time they get done, Save a Tree is going to have my yard thriving, and I can't wait to enjoy it all summer long. Save a Tree is the tree, shrub, and lawn experts, and March is the perfect time to get started on planning for your yard in 2025. It could be one of the best home upgrades you've ever made. See how beautiful your yard can be. Set up your own evaluation at saveatree.com. That's SAVATREE.com. SAVATREE.com. Or dial pound 250 on your smart device and say the keyword Save a Tree. That's pound 250 keyword Save a Tree. Or saveatree.com. Tell them Rob sent you.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Yes, that would get us more viewers. But no.
I don't know. I argued that maybe it would make people leave.
Well, I was just, we were talking about how, it's Kendall Casey show, by the way. My name's Rob. That's Casey. Kevin is here, our producer. And we were talking about how to get more eyeballs on our YouTube feed. You can watch the Kendall and Casey show.
Yeah.
In addition to listening to us.
Yeah.
And you had said, what if I just take my top off and let the girls hang out?
So you want me to take my top off?
And I said, I mean, while we're not governed by FCC standards on the internet, I don't know. I just think that's something we might need to get upper management to approve before embarking in that endeavor.
Yeah, that would probably be inappropriate. But I argue that maybe it would get us even less viewers.
Are you wearing a shamrock?
Oh, my necklace?
Yes.
Yeah,
it's not even St. Patrick's Day yet.
No, this is the Melania Trump necklace.
Oh, you bought it?
Yeah, well, I got it for Mother's Day last year.
Jim bought it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You can get it engraved. I haven't gotten it engraved, but you can.
It's very nice.
Oh, thank you.
So this was the thing. It was like a Trump fundraiser. You buy this Melania Trump shamrock necklace.
It's featured in her book, the Melania book that came out.
Do you think she has ever actually worn the Melania Trump shamrock necklace?
I'm not sure. I believe so because she has hers engraved. Yeah. So there's a picture of it, a really close-up. My sister-in-law actually has the Melania Trump book, and I was like, and she was leafing through it, and she said, oh, this is a pretty necklace. And I was like, hello, it's right here in person. And so we compared it, and that's when I noticed
She didn't even notice you had it on?
No, she didn't. Because my sister-in-law is a huge fan of Melania Trump and her fashion.
Oh, sure.
And that's when I noticed that Melania had hers engraved.
I gotcha.
Maybe something I should do because it's got, obviously it's a three clovered shamrock.
Well, that way if it gets lost, people know where to return it. Right. Or if you get lost, people know where to return you.
Right. I wear it every day. by the way.
Oh, really?
And you're just noticing it now. So.
Well, I think maybe I don't know. I don't know why.
It's because you were looking at my décolletage.
I was making sure you were keeping your top on.
Right.
So if you would like to see Casey keep her top on,
or my necklace,
you can head over to YouTube, put Kendall and Casey in your search bar there, and you can watch the program.
Hey, I know we touched on this with Nikki Kelly when she joined us earlier in the week, but Senate Bill 287, that's that proposed legislation to make school board candidates declare a political party.
So better stated, it is to make school board elections like every other election in the state of Indiana.
Yeah.
By the way, I love in the testimony, one of the state reps was going back and forth with one of these. Look, the superintendents, a lot of these school board people do not want this because these suburban school districts are infested with people who couldn't get elected dog catcher if they had to put a letter next to their name, and they know that. And the good time gravy train, I mean, when we're in this property tax conversation, one of the areas that has got to get cleaned up is these local school boards being more accountable with your money, and it's got to be people that are. The problem with school boards, unlike some of these other government entities, is you have professional cheerleaders who are in these positions of management and governance. So they're not oversight, they're not check and balance. They're cheerleader. I used to run into this all the time with people you'd appoint to the police commission. Everybody wanted to be on the police commission because they wanted to hang out with the police. They wanted to go on the ride-alongs. They wanted to, whatever. And I was like, none of you people are going to work for what I want because you're cheerleaders. You're not oversight. You're not accountability. You should be scrutinizing and cutting and managing just like any other department. But everybody wanted to be on the police commission. Park board was the same way. Like, I don't want cheerleaders in these positions. I want people who are accountable to the taxpayers, not to be let's make this the best it can be for them. No, you make it the best it can be for the most cost-efficient, effective thing for us. And so there's so many of these people who hide behind not having to say whether they're Democrat, Republican, whatever. And then when I call it it's this coalition building where the Democrats always know who their candidates are. The Democrats always know who the liberals are, whether they put a affiliate, a letter behind their name or not. But then when you take those people who in, let's face it, places like Noblesville or Carmel, thanks to the Soviet bloc style apartments on as many corners as possible in Hamilton County, when you coalition build those people with the people who naively vote because, well, Susie is Jenny's mom, and Jenny is on the soccer team with my little Sally, and Susie brings the brownies to the soccer meetings, so I'll vote for Susie. Well, that's how you get to plus 50%. You got 40% who know who the lefty is, another 20% or 15% or whatever who are naively voting just out of, well, that's so-and-so. And if she had to put the letter next to her name, they wouldn't vote for her. This is how you get these liberals running these suburban school boards.
So there was a lot of testimony, and some of the people were saying that there were concerns that the bill would deter nonpartisan individuals from running for office.
Okay. Well, everybody is partisan. This was the other thing that's kind of sort of come out now. So this bill passed the Senate. The Senate passing was kind of a surprise because the Senate is generally weaker on things like this than the House. But this is a rare case where the Senate bill is actually stronger than the House bill. So since it passed the Senate, the House, J.D. Prescott and a couple other guys that were leading this said, we'll just take this bill and vote on it because it's probably a better bill than the one that we had. And now they're hearing that bill in their committees. And what's fascinating about this is the fight that these people are putting up to not have to tell you how they vote.
Right.
Well, but yet, and of course, people listen to this show. Specifically, one state rep said in the test, back and forth with one of these people who's testifying, yeah, but you got to put a party affiliation on surveyor and coroner. Well, those are the two we always use, right? So that person is a fan of this show, and we thank you for listening. But it's the fair point. You got to have a party affiliation to deal with dead bodies, but not the school board. I mean, all these organizations are putting huge money on the left and the right. It's the most partisan body there is, and it's utterly ridiculous that we pretend we're going to keep politics out of our school system. Oh, get lost.
Okay, so I guess the committee's going to revisit the bill. They expect several amendments to it, and they prefer to put out a simpler version of the bill. I don't know how simple... how much simpler you can make it.
Well, so one of the things the Senate did that is actually strong and is really good, and I hope it survives because it will actually do the thing that needs to be done, is they actually have a primary process for school board elections. The House bill just says everybody still runs in a general election, but you got to put a letter next to your name. Now, you can be independent. If you want to say I'm an independent, you can still do that. But you gotta pick a lane, right? Right now there's nothing on the school board. There's just names. You got to tell I'm an L, I'm a D, I'm an R, I'm an I. The Senate bill, and this is the one that will actually work the best to fix this issue, says no, we're doing primary process just like a city council or a county council or any other office, and that's what needs to be done. All we're talking about doing is making school board elections like every other election, coroner, surveyor, all these elections. There's zero reason that they all shouldn't be uniformed and the same.
Yeah, you don't want to be surprised by someone's politics, especially when you're talking about school boards.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Trump administration, this is with the General Services Administration, they announced plans to sell hundreds of federally owned properties as part of the cost-saving efforts, and 3 of the buildings are here in Indiana. You've got the Emmett J. Bean Federal Center in Lawrence. Emmett J. Bean Federal Center.
What? Let me see. Do you know who Emmett J. Bean? I'm always fascinated by this.
Major General.
Did you know that, or did you have to look it up?
Well, it's right here in front of me.
Oh, so you cheated. So you didn't know. So he was. What was it? Was he? No, he was after the Civil War. He died in 1988. That's so weird. He was a native of Erie, Pitts. Anyway, okay, very good. So go on.
You've also got the Minton Capehart Federal Building. That here is downtown Indianapolis. And also the Lee Hamilton Federal Building.
Well, I know who Lee Hamilton is. Who was the second one?
Minton Capehart.
Mitten?
Minton.
Minton. M-I-N?
T-O-N.
T-O-N-K?
C-A-P-E-H-R-T.
Capehart. Capehart.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ever fascinated? You see names and you're like, who is that?
Who are these people? Why did they get a building?
Minton Capehart. It's 2 names. It's not even. I thought you meant the guy's name was Minton Capehart.
Minton-Capehart.
Well, now I'm gonna have to look up who that's named after.
You got to look up. You got to look up both of them.
Why is Emmett J. Bean? Oh, he's a World War I vet. Okay.
It's the biggest one on the list of the possible affected buildings. Houses 4,000 employees.
Yeah, so he's a long time. Okay, very good. Now I'm going to have to look up who Minton and Capehart are. It's like Lieber and Stoller. But, so this is part of not like officially under Doge, right? But I think it's part of this, hey, we got all these buildings and they're just taking up space and we don't have use for them. Let's get them off the rolls and get them, maybe the commerce, the people who do commerce in these cities can put them to use and start taking them from eyesores to, it's valuable real estate.
Yeah, it is.
And they're big buildings in many cases.
But it does cost a lot of money to keep them maintained. The potential savings is about $416,000.
How much?
$416,000.
That's quite a bit of money. Is that per building or is that collectively?
That's collectively.
Oh, here we go. The Minton Capehart Federal Building is named in honor of U.S. Senator and U.S. Supreme Court Justice Sherman Minton and former U.S. Senator Homer E. Capehart.
Okay.
Homer. There's a name you don't hear very much anymore, right?
That is
or
true.
Sherman, for that matter.
Or Sherman.
There you
go. Okay, so...
Now, real quick, I didn't mean to cut you off, but you will really impress people at your water cooler today if you can tell people who Emmett James Bean was and who the Minton Capehart Federal Building. This is why our show's number 1, Case.
Yeah, because we know who these people are. Or we're able to look it up, just like you could on your phone. So, can we talk about the astronauts that are still in space?
Still
in space.
Wasn't it? This is like Gilligan's Island, right? It was supposed to be a 3-hour tour,
right?
And they've been up there for months,
right? Yeah, they're still there.
Wasn't Musk going to get them down?
He said he's going to. Yeah.
Okay.
And Donald Trump talked about it. We'll talk about that coming up on 93 WIBC.
No matter where you head on your commute, Matt Bear is there. Paris.
Les Champs-Élysées sont un véritable parking ce matin.
Warsaw.
W drodze do pracy, wyjdź trochę wcześniej.
Or Brazil.
Temos bisbilhotice no Rio de Janeiro. Não haja como turista.
Matt, these are all cities in Indiana.
Oh, that makes my job easier.
Making your commute easier. Matt Bear Traffic. Mornings and afternoons on 93 WIBC.
Here's a real-life story that affects 50% of all of us out there. It's called divorce. If you've gotten divorced and now you're struggling to pay your bills and your credit card debts are completely out of control, you need to call this special debt relief hotline right now. We help people with all kinds of money problems caused by different life challenges, a divorce, a job loss, even heavy medical bills. All these life events can sometimes financially stress you out and cause you to get out of control. We help people get their lives back by showing them ways to consolidate and reduce their debt, in some cases for a fraction of what they owe. If your credit card balances are more than $10,000, call us and learn how to reduce your credit card bills and monthly payments now. Here's our number.
Paid for by Debt.com. Call now at 800-810-1820. 800-810-1820. 800-810-1820. That's 800-810-1820.
This is a special notice to all U.S. taxpayers with back taxes to the IRS. Billions in tax relief is now being made available to struggling taxpayers, giving thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars in savings away to those who qualify. If you're facing wage garnishment, threatening letters, audits, liens, levies, or already in a payment plan, you can now expedite the resolution to your tax problem, end collections, and even qualify to reduce a large portion of what you owe. Stop IRS Debt has established a relief hotline for you to call to check what savings and options you qualify for. Dial 800-518-9137. With many people facing job loss and rising cost of living, these special IRS initiatives are designed to aid delinquent taxpayers with the relief that they need to get a fresh start. For a free consultation to see what savings you qualify for, call 800-518-9137. 800-518-9137. 800-518-9137.
During tax season, your info travels lots of places you can't control.
W-2 arriving from payroll platform 3.
Everything criminals need to steal your identity is on your W-2.
Last call for accountant and home office, 1 minute.
LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points per second.
Tax preparation data centers with service to IRS. All aboard.
If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or drexelin.com.
They're still up there in space. Barry Wilmore and Sunita Williams, they've been stranded on the International Space Station for 9 months, a lot longer than their planned 8-day tour. It's just a 3-hour tour, Rob. They're still there.
And then Biden was like, good luck.
Well, that's the claim. Elon Musk said that the Biden administration just abandoned them up there for political reasons and also rejected his offer to bring them home earlier.
I'm sure there's some logical answer to this, but wouldn't they be running out of food? I mean, if you have an 8-day trip planned and you're on what month are they on?
They're 9. Yeah.
I'm sure there's some astronaut is screaming at the radio right now, or someone who has worked at NASA. But I mean, what do they keep? Just a regular supply of
food,
M&Ms,
International Space Station.
Yeah,
they keep it stocked. So during a press conference, Wilmore said that Musk, what he was saying that the Biden administration intentionally delayed their coming home was factual. So
why would you do that?
Was that why would Biden do that, or why would the astronauts say?
No, why would Biden delay saving these people's lives? This is what I don't understand is what was because they try to say it was politics, but what is political about getting people back home? I'm not understood this. Even I'm not doubting if there's politics to be played. Biden probably tried to do it, but I don't understand what the political win would be about. Yeah, we left them up there. Look at us.
Was it because they needed Elon Musk's help and they didn't want to ask Elon Musk for help? And that's the political side of
what
things?
Does that say about all the money we've spent on NASA that these people are up there and we're like, yeah, we can't get them down. Elon, can you help? Where is all our money going?
Yeah. And
we can't even rescue people in space, but Elon Musk can.
You got to wonder if Joe Biden even, knew what was going on.
Well, I don't
even remembered that they were up there.
I don't dispute that, and maybe there was no check. By the way, have you seen? There was some article I saw the other day, or somebody wrote about how nobody's buying Hunter Biden's stuff anymore. he doesn't get invited to things anymore, and it's almost like he wasn't really talented.
His artwork.
People were just buying his stuff to get access to Biden.
What else did I see about Hunter Biden? It was that, he was asking for some case to be dismissed because it's too much of financial strain. And then I also saw in California, all the wildfires, they hit all the houses around his except for his.
He was spared?
Yeah, he was spared.
Lucky him.
Yeah.
The ball really seems to usually bounce in his favor.
Mm-hmm. Ball not bouncing in those astronauts' favor.
So what's the plan?
Well, Donald Trump had a message to the astronauts. It's number 8, Kevin. He said that they're going to go get them.
I've authorized Elon a week ago. I said, we have 2 people up there that Biden and Kamala left up there, and he knows it very well. I said, are you equipped to get him? He said, yeah, he's got a Starship, and they're preparing it right now. And
pause.
So Elon...
I love how he says, I asked him, are you equipped to get him up? And he's like, get him back. And he's like, yeah, Starship. I picture that's how Musk, Trump will say things and he's just, he's doing 9 things in his brain at once. So he's just dismissive. But I'm picturing that's how the conversation went. Are you equipped to get it back? Yeah, Starship. Mm-hmm. Next. Mm-hmm. Does Trump have any idea what it even is? He's just saying things. Can we play just that little, just rewind it, just a few seconds and play that again?
Starship.
Well, no, just if we could just do that whole little, I don't know, 5 or 10 second bit there.
Kamala left up there.
Yeah.
And he knows it very well. I said, are you equipped to get him? He said, yeah, he's got a Starship.
He's got a Starship.
Mm-hmm. So the astronauts, they're scheduled to return aboard SpaceX on March 19th. And I guess one of the things that people are saying is the politics of it is at the time that they were originally scheduled to return, there was a lawsuit against SpaceX at the time. Musk mentioned that the Biden administration had a lawsuit against SpaceX at the time, and that's why somehow these astronauts got stuck in the middle.
Somebody in the YouTube chat, and it's on the internet, so it must be true, said NASA gets $60 million a day. That can't be right.
Wow.
Is that right?
That's a big budget.
Well, if you extrapolate that, you got your calculator there on your cellular telephone. Can you multiply 60 million by 365?
All right.
See what that number is.
What do you want?
60 million, and then you multiply that by 365. Can you see what that number comes out to?
Well, sure. 2.19 E10. Whatever that means.
Is that 2.19 billion? That's got to be billion.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Because if it were, no, it's got to be more than that, right? Because if it were 2.19 E10, if
there's not enough room. There's not enough spaces.
It's got to be more than that, because if it were 60 million a day times 10 would be 600 million. Well, times 20 days would be 1.2 billion. So, basically we're sending that in a month. That's hundreds of billions of dollars.
Right.
And we can't get a guy out of space?
Right.
Really?
Well, it's an issue.
Okay.
Okay, so do you have your real ID? Check your driver's license.
I do. I thought you had to get that. I thought that was a thing.
Yeah, you do have to get it. Do you have a little star up in the upper right-hand corner of your driver's license?
I have the thing.
Yeah. You're good? Okay, well then
I thought when last time I got the license, I thought they said you had to get. By the way, you want to talk about a scam? The having to pay to get your driver's license renewed. So, I'm a driver, right? I'm a citizen. I'm clearly a citizen of this country. There's no doubt. I am a motorist in good standing. Haven't had a speeding ticket in close to 20 years. Had a seatbelt infraction, I think, in 2008. And that's the last time I've had any sort of motoristic run-in with the government. And yet every, whatever it is, 2 or 4 years, I don't even remember what it is, I got to go back to the state, and for them to renew the same thing that says what? The same thing I said before. I'm not changing my organ donation status, nothing. I have to pay to get a license. For what?
Yeah,
I have changed nothing. I have changed nothing. My motoristic standard has not changed. I'm still a good driver. I'm, not getting all sorts of high-speed chases.
Why do I have to pay every so many years to have my license renewed if nothing has changed?
Because the state needs your money.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's a money grab, right?
Mine doesn't expire until 2029. And it's got the star in the upper right-hand corner, which is good because that means it is the real ID. If you don't have the real ID, guess what? Deadline's approaching starting May 7th.
What is the real ID? Why is this different from the fake ID?
You're going to be required to have this if you want to fly or if you want to enter certain federal facilities, even the ones that may be closing, Rob.
Oh.
Yeah. And if you want to obtain this, you have to go to the Secretary of State, right?
Oh, Diego.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you got to bring a form of ID, proof of your Indiana residency.
I thought you could do this at the BMV. I'm fairly certain I did
Social
this.
Security.
I did this at the BMV.
Right. Isn't that run by the Secretary of State?
Is it? I don't know. Maybe. There's too many things to keep track of, Casey.
Hey, Kevin, can you play number 3? Because you know what the Secretary of State likes to say. You're aware of this, right?
No, I know he says several things.
Indiana Secretary of State Diego Morales here, starting my day bright and early in our beautiful state house.
Yeah.
Remember, our doors at Secretary of State's office open at 7 a.m.
7 a.m.
We should go sometime at 7 a.m. just to see what's going on.
see
if it's actually open at 7 a.m.
Hey, we've got an email from a listener we're going to share coming up as part of voicemails on 93 WIBC.
Has the holiday season left you overwhelmed, stressed out, and overweight? Do you feel frustrated when you think about what you need to do to be healthy and feel better? You deserve a simple approach to a stronger, healthier, and more enjoyable life. Exercise Inc. has been helping people in Central Indiana reach their health and fitness goals for 20 years. The approach is simple. Strength train with a certified coach once a week for 20 minutes. Adopt the 9 simple habits you need to follow to change your health and lose weight. Then get out there and enjoy life because you'll be stronger and have more energy and you're going to feel better and you'll lose weight and you'll probably even look better too. And you may even be able to get off of some of those prescription medications. Exercise Inc., Avon, Brownsburg, Greenwood, Zionsville, and now in Fishers. The studios are private, no mirrors, no music, and no spandex. Just you and a professional coach working to reach your goals for the new year. Go to exerciseinc.com today to sign up for a free consultation.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Where an LSD lab was uncovered. Mostly cloudy, nothing on radar, 36 degrees in the Circle City with highs today in the upper 40s. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 10:30. That was in Greenwood on Thursday. Johnson County Sheriff Dwayne Burgess discussed the case this morning.
We had many hours with our detectives doing their work to be able to obtain a search warrant or build the probable cause needed to do that. But I believe state police had 14, 15 detectives from their agency there as well.
Burgess says Clint Walker was in charge of the lab with help from his girlfriend, Crystal Roseberry. He says both of them were arrested along with Walker's parents. An update supposed to come later today on the deaths of actor Gene Hackman and his wife. They were both found dead in their Santa Fe home last month. The Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office news conference is set for 4 o'clock this afternoon. Also happening this afternoon, the NHL trade deadline expires. Teams have until 3 o'clock to make any last-minute deals. I'm John Herrick, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hey, Bill, where you been? You're overdue for a haircut.
Man, listen, my water pipes burst and flooded my house. Place a mess. I've been staying with my daughter till I can figure out what to do.
You trying to fix it and move back in?
No way. It's too big a mess. It'll cost me tens of thousands of dollars. I ain't got that kind of money.
You trying to sell it then?
Well, that's what I'd like to do, but who's going to buy my house in this condition?
Did you call Simple Quarters?
Simple Quarters?
Simple Quarters bought our house when we were in a jam. We needed to move real quick. They closed fast and gave us cash.
Simple Quarters will buy in any condition?
That's right. They buy as is. You don't have to repair anything or clean anything out. It's simple.
What do I have to do?
Just call them. They'll do a quick walkthrough, then they'll make you an offer.
Simple Quarters is a local Christian company that loves to help people in difficult situations. Call Simple Quarters at 317-900-HOME. That's 317-900-HOME. Check us out at simplequarters.com.
Hey guys, it's Rob for Universal Windows Direct. Right now, it's their tax time sale where you can save big while making your home more comfortable and energy efficient. Right now, for every 2 windows you buy, you're going to get the next 2 free. There's no limit. And here's something that will make your wallet even happier. Pay no interest until 2030. That's right. No interest for the next 6 years, making it easier than ever to afford the quality windows your home needs. But wait, there's more. This month only, Universal Windows Direct is giving you an extra $500 off your home improvement project. Now, some restrictions may apply. So to get all the details and schedule your totally free in-home estimate, call Universal Windows Direct today. 317-659-7574. 317-659-7574 or visit universalwindowsdirect.com to schedule your free in-home estimate today. Universal Windows Direct, 317-659-7574, universalwindowsdirect.com. Tell them Rob sent you. Hey guys, it's Rob. You know, we've had some crummy weather, but the good news is warmer temperatures right around the corner. And that means spring also right around the corner. And this spring, do the thing that I did for my lawn. Call Save a Tree, the tree, shrub, and lawn experts. Sean from Save a Tree came out to my house last week and gave me some suggestions to have my lawn looking great after some tough winter weather. I'm feeling pretty good that Save a Tree is going to have my yard thriving, and I can't wait to enjoy it all summer long. I think making that call to Save a Tree is going to be one of the best home upgrades I've ever made. See how beautiful your yard can be. Set up your own evaluation at saveatree.com. That's SAVATREE.com. That's SAVATREE.com. Or dial pound 250 on your smart device and say the keyword Save a Tree. That's pound 250, keyword Save a Tree. Save a Tree, the tree, shrub, and lawn experts. Tell them Rob sent you.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC. It's time to hear from you. Kendall and Casey present voicemails.
The phone number 317-684-8444 if you'd like to get involved and leave us a voicemail for Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. We'll get to a couple of those in just a moment. But first, Rob, you received a really nice email yesterday. So nice, in fact, I don't know if it's a real person. I think you wrote it.
My pseudo name, Travis. Boy, this guy's last name is hard to pronounce. I came up with a doozy, didn't I?
Yeah, he did.
But this came from Travis. Of course, we spent, and we told you we were going to get in trouble for doing the whole show on property taxes yesterday.
Yeah.
And we did, but we were willing to do it.
We got in trouble.
But we knew that you would want it, and we knew that you would engage, and you did engage, and we're willing to get a few slaps on the wrist in order to bring you the content that we know you want, because nobody knows you like us. And so got this email, and I thought we were joking about how we were going to get in trouble, and we did. But I just thought we'd read this.
You know what? And you said you were going to take the heat for that, by the way.
I did. The email was directed at me.
Well, then why did I get yelled at?
Because you walk in there on your own volition. You do it to yourself.
So what? At the end of the show, instead of going and checking in with my boss, I should have just disappeared?
Well, it's like...
to avoid it?
It's like you being mad if you ended up in the Gacy crawl space if you walked right into his house.
It was my own fault.
You knew.
I knew we were going to get yelled at.
And then
expectations were met.
And then Kevin, what a help Kevin was. He waltzed in there and goes, "Gee, boss, what should I write about today? It was all about property taxes."
Oh, don't throw Kevin under the bus.
I was just trying to collaborate.
So I told Kevin, I said, "Kevin, I love you."
I wasn't collaborating against you. Let me be clear about
it ended up
that.
really working against us. So in the future, if you have any doubt about what you're supposed to write about, you just come to Uncle Rob and Aunt Casey, and we will tell you. But our audience loved what we did yesterday because, look, this is what I told my boss in the response. I said, there was so much ridiculousness in that 9 hours. And every segment we did was a different person being completely ridiculous in a different fashion, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we mentioned a couple times some things like the guy who was like, I'm going to have to, we're going to lose 7 firefighters.
Right.
Wait, I mean, you're going to fire them or you're not going to hire them? Oh, I mean, we're not going to hire them, right? I mean, that was a reoccurring thing. But every segment was some local government person being wholly ridiculous, trying to screw you over to protect themselves and their vested interest. And it was like, how would I even cover that in 1 or 2 segments? How would I have covered that hearing in 1 or 2 segments?
It was an 8-9 hour hearing. They wanted us to condense it down into 10 minutes. We just couldn't do it.
Case and I had this conversation because I knew we were going to get in trouble. And I just said, there's no way. I said, I can't do it. I cannot condense the utter stupidity and how wholly ridiculous those local government people were. Like, who was I going to leave out? The Park County guy who was bragging about raising all the taxes, the Mooresville guy who was threatening to shut off the lights, the Danville guy who got caught having to admit, yeah, we had a referendum and it failed. Nothing changed. I mean, he didn't have to admit that, but that's the result, right? He had to admit had the referendum and it failed. The guy with the firefighters that we're going to lose, and then no, we're just not going to be able to hire him. The lady who had the fancy firehouse and then got basically admitted they could have built a pole barn or a prefab building for a fraction
the
of the price.
Librarian who was bragging about the renovated meeting room.
Which one would we have not told you about? Because they were all equally entertaining in their own way. It was like, there's no way we can't mention all these people because you deserve. If you go to a public meeting and you say the things these people said, you deserve to be publicly shamed and hopefully humiliated, and hopefully every one of those people, when somebody sees them at a Walmart or a Wendy's, will point at them and laugh. So if I got to get a little lecture for making sure that if somebody sees that Mooresville superintendent somewhere that people point at him and laugh, then well worth it. But anyway, we got lots of positive feedback for yesterday, and I just thought I'd read one of the emails that we got.
Sounds good.
We want more. We want more. That's what the people of Indiana are probably chanting right now after your show today. Nobody is going to be upset that you devoted 3 hours to this property tax issue. Please give us 3 more hours tomorrow if need be. Your WIBC listeners trust your judgment. I wish they could still hear the radio station in the facility on what to put on the show. Do what you got to do and scream it from the rooftops. I was thinking that you might just start repeating yourself every other hour, but no such rhetoric ever happened. Rob, you and Casey did such an excellent service to the people of Indiana today, as you are filled with passion, and you've given us the news just short of real time. I can't imagine all the prep work that goes into getting those audio excerpts. Thank you for all your hard work. Again, the best show ever. And continue this fabulous work. Did you hear that, Dion? Dion's right over your shoulder. Best show ever.
That was from Travis. Hey, Dion, did you notice what we...
Yeah.
Yes, they loved it.
Hey, Dion, can you come in here for just a second?
Did you notice the sign that we put up on the dry erase
We made this
board?
for you. So Dion is, Kev, if you can turn Dion's mic on. Dion, what are you now? I was going to say like head honcho, or you have an actual title now, right? Like you're over a bunch of...
Yeah, president of our company now. Isn't that crazy?
And what did you say to me in the hallway the other day about the phone calls?
This is the longest... phone calls, emails. This is the longest stretch ever of nobody telling me to fire Rob. So
here he is.
I just asked,
so on this
Casey,
Friday,
what are y'all doing?
I said he tries.
I said, what are y'all doing? Because I don't know what this experience is right now.
You're not getting the calls, are you?
I'm not getting calls, emails, and we're in March.
Yeah. So as you notice,
first quarter's almost over, Rob.
Ethan, who does the Saturday night show, he's a fabulous artist. He made this little sign in honor of you not getting any calls, and we're going to keep that rolling on how many days it's been each week until you get a call.
Yeah, you can flip it again. I'm like, I just stopped in to make sure you were still doing the show.
Yeah. Yes, we are. We did a big show yesterday.
Yeah.
You would have loved it.
Yeah.
Every minute of it.
Well, how is life now that you're over, 90-some stations?
I don't know what city I'm in during the week. I just kind of
Welcome to Indianapolis.
I just get off the plane and go, what city is this?
You've become Mick Jagger.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah. He's like a rock star.
Well, you timed that up perfectly. We didn't even know you were going to be here, but that is a legit email from Travis. And, Thanks for
Travis exists though. That's not
that's a real
from
guy.
you.
That's
Travis
what I
is
said.
a real person.
That email was
we
so
verified
good.
That. We have verified Travis.
It sounds like that Rob may have written it.
You can come over and see it for yourself. That the guy's got a last name, and you can see that for yourself. And that is not that is not me.
Can Travis call in just to verify that Travis is a real person?
We want to see his real ID. Make sure he's a real
right.
He's a real dude,
real person. Look him up on People Finder. Make sure.
Well, thanks for keeping us employed. We really appreciate it.
Well, we can flip it one more day.
Perfect timing.
We expect a call from Travis.
That was just perfect timing.
Thanks, Dion.
Do we have another voice?
We love working here, and for you.
He's gone. He can't hear us out there anymore.
Okay, good. Whew. We do have a couple more voicemails, and we're going to keep them light. Do you remember? I believe it was Wednesday.
Yeah.
You put on a display in here with push-ups.
Oh yeah, I did the push-ups.
Yeah.
Because there was some story about if you can't do a certain number of push-ups,
you're not fit.
Right.
Right. And Mayo Clinic says that doing a push-up is a good indicator of your how healthy you are.
And so Kev, I think, put the number at 25, or you put it at 25, and Kev put it at 30.
And you said I can do 40.
Yeah, and I blew past it.
And
did
you
the 40
crushed
push-ups.
it. Yeah, and you did 40.
I could've done 50.
Lickety split.
Yeah.
Here's a phone call about push-ups.
Hi, Rob and Casey. That was great what you did on push-ups, because I did that myself. But, but what would really blow your mind is if you look up world's record on push-ups, because it makes me seem like what I do is nothing.
So I'm looking up the world record on push-ups.
Are you just putting in your Google machine world's record on push-ups?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
What's the number?
Well, let's play high or low. What's your guess?
What's the time frame? In a row, consecutive? Total number in a row?
Yeah, total number in a row. We'll go there. There's a couple different world records.
Okay.
Total nonstop push-ups from beginning to end.
All right, 1,000.
Oh, it's way higher.
Oh, it's way higher.
Yeah.
Oh, what is it?
10,507.
What is it?
10,507 nonstop push-ups in 1980.
Wow.
We're done.
Real quick, before we get to break, I want to read this too. I mean, because somebody just sent this in. Please pass along to your boss, Dion. The show yesterday was great.
Oh.
I was impressed and distressed by the insanity of some of what do you call them blood-sucking parasites? Mm-hmm. I honestly expected better. Silly me, Kendall and Casey are kicking butt every day. Hopefully the only thing you yelled at them about was not kicking enough butt. I'm forwarding these. Now, it was not Dion. We should clarify. Dion was not the person who did the lecturing to us. Dion.
Well, you even heard it from him. He barely even here.
Yeah, Dion likes us.
Yeah.
Especially now that he doesn't get called. Although he did say, he's like, I get great humor out of many of the phone calls and emails demanding
Rob
your
Kendall
resignation.
Well, that must mean that the people over at 200 West Washington aren't calling our boss.
Yeah. Ron told him we need this guy. Leave him alone.
Yeah.
You can try to fire him after April.
Hammer's going to join us next on 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel's show, 3 o'clock this afternoon. It's Beer Sample Friday. We're going to have some barguments and the biggest stories in Indy. Join us and let's roll.
Dents happen. There's a whole lot of stuff that can mess up the look of your vehicle. Don't paint your car. Go PDR with Kill a Dent Removal. PDR is paintless dent removal that saves your factory finish and is way less invasive than traditional body shop repairs. And it's faster too, sometimes same day. Google Kill a Dent Removal and check out the reviews and photos. Then schedule your repair. Hail baseballs, kids, fender benders, shopping carts, flying cows, angry X's, and anything else that leaves dents. Don't paint your car. Go PDR with Kill a Dent Removal.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. GI Bill, SkillBridge, and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577. Service today.
During tax season, your info travels lots of places you can't control.
W-2 arriving from payroll platform 3.
Everything criminals need to steal your identity is on your W-2.
Last call for accountant at home office. 1 minute.
LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points per second.
Tax preparation data centers with service to IRS. All aboard.
If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
This is a special notice to all U.S. taxpayers with back taxes to the IRS. Billions in tax relief is now being made available to struggling taxpayers, giving thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars in savings away to those who qualify. If you're facing wage garnishment, threatening letters, audits, liens, levies, or already in a payment plan, you can now expedite the resolution to your tax problem, end collections, and even qualify to reduce a large portion of what you owe. Stop IRS Debt has established a relief hotline for you to call to check what savings and options you qualify for. Dial 800-518-9137. With many people facing job loss and rising cost of living, these special IRS initiatives are designed to aid delinquent taxpayers with the relief that they need to get a fresh start. For a free consultation to see what savings you qualify for, call 800-518-9137. 800-518-9137. 800-518-9137.
Never miss your favorite shows on WIBC. Get your content to go.
Would you like fries with that?
Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey, Hammer and Nigel, Tony Kennett, The Gun Guy, Home and Garden. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
Well, it's Friday, and that means it's a good time to hear from Jason Hammer from the #1 rated Hammer and Nigel show. Good morning.
Good morning. Counting down the days until the property tax rally that you guys are hosting. I'll be the special MC for that one, and March 17th. So if you're going downtown for any St. Patty's Day shenanigans, stop by the State House and create a ruckus in hopes of getting some of your money back.
Yeah, we'll go into a little bit more detail again next hour on this. You got to show up, though. Here's all I can tell you, and Andrew Ireland confirmed this yesterday. You want the property tax thing fixed? You got to show up to this thing. You don't show up, they're rooting for us to fail. They're rooting because then they'll say, the thing about it's an ever-changing thing. It used to be, well, nobody listens. Obviously, we've blown that out of the water. We're #1. They can't dispute that. Now their new thing is they can't mobilize. Like, people just listen because it's there. They can't mobilize.
A guy with the last name of Ireland would not lie to you about a St. Patrick's Day rally.
That's right. That's right. And Andrew Ireland, who's a state rep, confirmed this. He said, what you do on the 17th, if you get off your butt and you get there and you make some noise, we're going to have a chance to get something good done. If this shows up and fails, they'll go, see, nobody wanted this thing.
And if anything, let's just treat it like a big social. Let's get down there. Let's raise a little cane.
Yeah.
Try to get some of our money back and then go drink some green beer.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. You're on Outkick, right?
Yes. I'm a contributor guest to Outkick.
Yeah. Like on the credits, it would be with special guest, Jason Allen Hammer.
Correct.
Yeah.
I go on each week and I'm part of this little game called Shot Clock Violation, where I'm debating another person on a series of topics. It's hosted by our old pal, Dan Dockett.
The coach. Yes, the coach.
And the question this morning I thought was really interesting. If you could interview 3 people, dead or alive, in the history of this country, and the goal is to make it an entertaining conversation, something you'd want to play back either on the air or as a podcast, who would you choose?
Okay, so here's the problem with this is you said entertaining. Now, the idea that, like, you brought George Washington back from the dead, well, of course, you'd get a gajillion people because nobody's ever heard George Washington's voice, or Abraham Lincoln, for that matter.
Well, the guy that I debate with, Danny Zakrzewski, great writer at Outkick.
His name, Zakrzewski?
Oh, yeah. He said the Founding Fathers because his goal was to do a series of podcasts playing them back audio from some of today's hearings. Like, all right, George Washington, your thoughts on people saying that a biological man can indeed play against women, or these people complaining that we shouldn't be finding the waste in the government.
Yeah, see, this is the problem with things like this, and I get that I'm getting too into the weeds, but people would listen because nobody's ever heard George Washington speak. But is George Washington wildly entertaining? Don't know.
Right.
Like, I would think Ben Franklin in his day was much more entertaining
He was
than
a ladies' man,
George
too.
Washington was, right?
Right. But sometimes it doesn't even have to be entertaining to get ratings and numbers, right? If the goal is to entertain your audience, I think people would hang off every word George Washington had to say.
Now here's the thing. If everybody knows what George Washington sounds like and it's not that big of a deal, like it's just their place in American history, I would certainly say Rush Limbaugh because
he's on my list too.
Oh, very good. Okay. Yeah. So I mean,
let me give you my list, and then you guys, pick at it, make fun of it, and then you can give me your other two. Because I know I kind of threw this on you last minute here. The three people that I chose were, number one, Lee Harvey Oswald.
Oh, yeah.
Because I want to talk to him post-assassination, but before his demise. Yeah. And I've got questions.
Now we're picking and choosing when...
well, if I've got access to the time machine...
That's true.
Then, yes,
Fair.
I'm going to pick that time.
Very good.
Did the CIA get involved? Who did you know? Who all is involved in this government cover-up?
Good point.
I think we can get some good numbers with that.
Yeah, good one.
Number two, Richard Pryor.
Oh.
Because I grew up, I'm a Gen Xer. Filth, flarn, filth, that type of comedy kind of shaped who I am as a kid. Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy Raw, those types of dudes. I could have a fun, hilarious, just un-PC chat. A chat that would make these young millennial kids, Gen Zers' heads spin around with Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
And the last one, and I think Rob will appreciate this one, Mickey Mantle.
Oh!
Young Mickey Mantle hitting bombs at Yankee Stadium and then going out for a night on the town in New York.
Yeah.
Now, this wasn't the cleaned up Giuliani New York. This was debaucherous New York.
50s and 60s.
Just punishing his liver, partying with his boys, finding every young lovely he can to funnel his hog. You think that wasn't any fun to hang out with the Mick in his prime? Dude, I bet he's got some stories. So those were my three.
Casey.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm with you. I say Rush Limbaugh because he's one of the greatest orators ever.
Yeah.
Right. And I think it would be fascinating to talk to him and get his perspective on where things are now and advice on where we should go with the country. Along those lines, because he is one of the greatest marketers I think we've ever seen, and I would really like to, almost a Theo Vaughn sort of interview. I picked Donald Trump. Like I have not had the opportunity like Rob has to speak with him. So if it could be like an unedited, you can say whatever's on your mind, and he truly gave you honest answers, that would be fascinating.
And the Theo Vaughn style would be almost like a laid-back style. Maybe you guys are sharing a Diet Coke. Maybe you're at a McDonald's.
Right. But the caveat being with that interview, he has to be honest with his answers of the information that he knows. He can't hide things for politics or even national security reasons. Like, give me the info.
Last one.
That would be great. Last one, kind of along the lines of the Founding Fathers, my choice would be Ulysses S. Grant. General during the Civil War in charge of Reconstruction. I don't think Lincoln would have won the Civil War had he not had Grant as a president.
Grant, your thoughts on these idiots tearing down Lincoln statues for racist reasons?
Yeah. Plus, he was known to have a cocktail or two. He had his ups and downs. A very fascinating historical figure to me. Was the one who designated Yellowstone as a national park.
Okay.
Did a lot of things.
You know, I've met just about everyone. You know, one person I've been trying to meet for years, and it's amazing how hard it's been.
Henry Lee Summer.
He loves our show. He told us.
Friend of the show.
Tom Griswold. I would love to meet Tom Griswold.
Was it today their debut show? Like
anniversary?
They've been around a while.
Their anniversary of their debut
Is it?
show?
Who's your last one? We're running out of time.
Oh, I didn't even on the list. I don't know. You.
I wouldn't grant the interview.
It's a no-hold bar. All right, what do you got coming up today?
It's Beer Sample Friday on our show. We're also going to have some barguments, little arguments you could have in a bar, and we're going to have a good time. Biggest stories of the day. Nobody has more fun than we do.
Thanks, Hammer. It is Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Many times, patients have symptoms they didn't know were actually related to their airway breathing issues.
I was suffering from sinus issues, jaw issues, and neck pain. I guess I just kind of had my breaking point.
Unfortunately, this is typical. But until you get to the root of your problem, it's going to just persist. Fortunately, Jody took action, and the results were typical as well.
My quality of life is so different. But one of the first things that I noticed was my breathing. I don't ever remember being able to breathe like that.
Being able to breathe freely is life-changing, and the effects can go beyond that.
Sleeping better, having more energy, and it seemed as if all of those symptoms that I had just melted away.
And thank heavens for that, because at Advent, results are what drive us, helping you breathe well so you can live better.
Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
If you love spring in Indy but hate the paint, do what Deanna did. She called Rhino Shield.
I was noticing some cracks and the paint's faded. I was like, okay, I think I should get my house painted. So my neighbor had a Rhino Shield placard in the yard. And after they were finished, I was just, wow. With the warranty and everything, it just seemed silly not to go that route.
The ceramic coating of Rhino Shield is specifically formulated for our climate.
So the Rhino Shield crew came out. Nothing was damaged in the process. I was very happy. They just didn't leave a mess. You couldn't even tell they were there. And the house looked so different. It just looked like a new home.
Visit Rhino Shield's booth at the Flower and Patio Show and learn about their 25-year transferable warranty protection. Plus, receive a free prize.
Rhino Shield, I think it increases the value and the curb appeal of your home. Definitely worth it.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Billy, your gas light's on. We need to stop and fill up.
No way, Jen. Gas around here is too expensive. We can make it a little further.
Billy, listen to your big sister. You don't need to drive all over searching for the lowest gas prices. Do what I do and use Upside.
Upside?
Do you live under a rock, Billy? Upside is the hottest cashback app out there. It's free to download, and you get real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. I use it all the time, and I've already made around $200.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying the gas you have to buy anyway?
Yes, I'm looking at the Upside app now, and there's a gas station at the next exit offering 25 cents per gallon cash back.
Okay, I'm stopping to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code KIND to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code KIND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code KIND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or drexelin.com.
When was the last time you practiced your home fire escape plan? Be sure everyone in your family knows what to do if there's a fire. Get out, stay out. It's your fire safe response.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recycler Studios, what police say they found in Greenwood and why they find it disturbing. A crash in Greensburg this morning snarled traffic, and you'll hear what else it did, and what the state of Indiana says they are investing in. Those stories and much more coming your way after Fox News Radio at the top of the hour. You are listening to 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis, and it's now 11 o'clock.
A would-be Trump assassin is back in court this hour. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, and the president is following the case against Ryan Ruth closely.
He had 6 cell phones. That's a lot of cell phones. And a couple of them had some strange markings on them. So, yeah, I want to find out.
Fox's Dana Marie McNichols outside the court in Fort Pierce, Florida.
Other evidence listed in court documents include a notebook with pages of names and numbers pertaining to overseas locations.
Now, that attempt was thwarted 2 months after the assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania, left then-candidate Trump with a grazed, bloodied ear.
Ruth was spotted with an assault rifle, waiting 12 hours along that fence line of Trump International Golf Course last September. Law enforcement arrested him after he fled the scene.
We expect to hear from President Trump in the next few minutes, reacting to the jobs report showing an increase in hiring last month, but also a slight rise in the unemployment rate. He just talked about Iran in an interview with Maria Bartiromo for the Fox Sunday Morning Futures show.
You said they cannot have a nuclear weapon.
Yeah. Well, there are 2 ways Iran can be handled, militarily or you make a deal. I would prefer to make a deal because I'm not looking to hurt Iran.
The president says he told Iran's supreme leader in a letter, if the U.S. has to use our military, it'll be a terrible thing for them. The president also posted on Truth Social this morning he's strongly considering sanctions and tariffs on Russia for continuing to pound Ukraine on the battlefield with a new round of U.S.-Ukraine peace talks set for Tuesday. We're still waiting on the Trump executive order that aims to eliminate the Department of Education. Its Secretary Linda McMahon tells Fox that
local school boards, that governors and teachers and parents
are really the ones that are involved mostly in their children's education.
Democrats may block eliminating the department in Congress, saying ending federal programs would hurt schools and students. In about 7 hours in South Carolina, a condemned murderer who beat his ex-girlfriend's parents to death in 2001 will be the first killer in 15 years in the U.S. to face a firing squad. They'll put a hood over Brad Sigmund's head and a target over his heart, the executioner's bullet. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
What they found surprised him. Mostly cloudy and 40 degrees in downtown Indy, but it feels like 33 with the wind chill. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 11:02. A drug lab busted in Greenwood. Ryan Hedrick reports.
This happened Thursday in a neighborhood not far from the Greenwood Park Mall. Johnson County Sheriff Dwayne Burgess says when they entered the home,
they found what they believe to be an LSD laboratory, and that's something that's new to all of us.
Burgess says 4 people are facing charges in this case.
Clint Walker, I believe, was the person that was manufacturing. His girlfriend, Crystal Roseberry, was arrested, along with his mom and dad, Randy Walker and Kathleen Walker.
And police are still looking into this. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A fatal crash in Greensburg this morning. Police say it happened on I-74 eastbound when a car was struck by a tractor trailer. This resulted in the death of a woman in the car. Officers say the driver of that tractor trailer, though, is cooperating with them. State police have the investigation. The number of crashes in Hamilton County is increasing. Investigators say the highest crash locations in the county are off 146th Street with the intersection of 146th and Hazeldale Parkway, seeing 139 crashes over 5 years. Plans are in place to turn 146th Street into a bridge and Hazeldale Parkway into a roundabout to improve safety. The state of Indiana will invest $3.7 million in an attempt to improve recycling accessibility. The recycling rate for the state is 19%, while the national average is nearly twice that. 5 organizations are sharing the money through the Recycling Market Development Program. Men's college hoops, Purdue will host Illinois at Mackey Arena this evening in a game that Purdue head coach Matt Painter says they'll need to be on their toes when it comes to rebounding.
That's the most important thing for us, is being able to keep the ball out of the paint. But also, we're going to get in some rotations, but just not be in rotations the whole game. That's where they break you.
Meanwhile, Indiana faces Ohio State at Assembly Hall tomorrow. Both of those teams are on the bubble for the NCAA tournament. The IU-Ohio State game gets started Saturday at 3:45, which you can hear right here on WIBC beginning at 2:45. I'm John Herrick on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. 11:04, Kendall and Casey coming back in 1 minute.
Well, sure. Of course, we're all excited that spring is almost here in central Indy. But this month, when the weather still can't make up its mind and it's going back and forth between warm and cold, Hoosiers get a very specific type of roadway March Madness. It's called potholes. And they're a pain. But you know what? It's one of the reasons why I'm a AAA member. Peace of mind for the roadside assistance. I've had flat tires on the side of the road because of potholes. AAA has been there for me every time.
And if you're having tire issues, AAA's got you covered with their mobile tire service, My Pit Crew. They bring the tire shop to you. I've used this service before, and now that I got my 2 boys driving, this service protects the whole family. So if you don't have a spare, My Pit Crew from AAA, these guys are the best. MyPitCrew.com. You pick out the tires and schedule the install. Join AAA today. AAA members get a discount on My Pit Crew. You can get a AAA membership by calling 844-GO-AAA-GO or stop by any AAA office. AAA.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Casey, we have breaking news.
What's that?
Breaking news.
Yeah.
Last hour, we read the correspondence from Travis.
Yes.
Who you didn't believe was a real person.
No, I didn't. Because it sounded like something you would say, like, if you wrote it.
Dion, our boss, was here. He did not believe Travis was a real person.
Correct.
And it was just a glowing email about our coverage yesterday of the property tax hearing debacle that we gave up, like you gave up 9 hours of your day or whatever it was to watch the whole thing, and then the coverage we got. And Travis responded, and yes, I am a real person. I live in Avon.
Wow.
And he says he's a courier. He drives around all day and is fortunate to listen to us every day. And then he goes on to tell me some mutual friends that we have. So Travis is indeed a real person from Avon.
Well, we appreciate the email that he sent because it was very nice of him.
And it was timely.
It was timely, and it was nice that he took time out of his day to, say that he appreciated the work that we put into yesterday's show to give you the information that you need about what's going on.
In fairness, Casey's the one who puts the actual work in because I do this stuff in my sleep, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's my entertainment is watching these idiots and then screaming at my computer. And Casey is the one who had to okay, there's a clip, get that clip.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just texting her, yeah, get that one. Yeah, go get that one.
Right.
Yeah, go get that one. You'd had no audio if I'd have been in charge of that show yesterday.
Right. It would have been you.
Storytelling.
Just
yeah.
Complaining the whole time.
You
right?
did all the, Casey does all the actual work.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, we need the receipts, right?
Right, that's correct.
So, but I'll be honest, that's a little frustrating. You put a lot of time into it. You try and share it with the audience so that they have the information they need, and then you get yelled at about it.
Well, I had a chat with the person who was not too happy with us, and I think now they understand a little bit more. That
Did you have a chat?
Well, briefly. Well, here's what I had to tell him. I had to tell him I'm taking an engineer with me because once we get off the air here today, I'm going over to the State House. We're going to start planning the logistics of our big property tax broadcast and rally.
Right, that's coming up on Monday, March 17th, 1 p.m. in the State House.
No, that's the rally.
Yeah,
but
the broadcast is from 9 until noon.
9 until noon. You can come watch the live broadcast from outside the Lieutenant Governor's
I'm not
office.
putting any work into that day. That's all you.
That's great. I got it covered. That'll be fine.
That way we're even, right?
Yeah, that'll be just fine. So you'll be able to come and watch the live broadcast. And look, and we'll get on to the topics of the day. But we heard this from Andrew Ireland yesterday. It's all on you at this point. We're going to set the thing up. We're going to make sure it works. And then you got to decide, do you want property taxes fixed or not? And you heard from Andrew Ireland yesterday that you need a show of force that day if we want to try to get something meaningful out of this because they're rooting for us to fail. They want to say, see, you guys didn't care all that much. See, you didn't show up. See, these guys are all talking. Yeah, we got to get off. They don't have any listeners because we know they have tons and tons of listeners, but can they mobilize? Can they actually get people to do stuff? They don't believe in you. We believe in you. So this is your chance to prove to these people at the State House how pissed off you actually are. That's what this is about.
This is your one shining moment, right? So, we're counting on you.
So I'm staying late today. I'm going to walk over to the State House, take an engineer with me, and start to get this all
I'm so proud of you.
Out.
You're actually going to put in some effort, huh?
Well, right. Right.
It's the one time. Okay, so Elon Musk, he shared a poll on X, and he was asking Americans if they prefer clocks to be permanently set an hour earlier or an hour later if daylight savings is abolished. Okay, so we've got that coming up this weekend, right?
There's no S. Saving
time, singular. Daylight saving time. And Kevin and I even had a conversation about that. And
about what?
If it's saving or savings.
Yeah, there's no S.
Saving time.
You're saving time. Daylight saving time.
Right.
Now, we've been through this. There is both a good and a bad with this. And you enter into this relationship knowing. So the fall, which is the clock back, right?
Fall back, spring forward.
That is an extra hour of whatever activity you were choosing to engage in on a Saturday evening. If you were a young, good-looking person like Kevin, it's an extra hour of doing whatever. And you always forget, and then at about 2 a.m. it hits you, because don't the clocks go back at 2? Is it 2 a.m.?
Yes, it is 2 a.m. In the fall, yes.
Yeah. And you're beginning to strategize your exit from the evening, and then it dawns on you.
You got another
hour. Kev is smiling because he understands what I'm saying. There is this euphoric moment in the fall where that clock gets set back, and it dawns on you that you now have 2 more hours to continue down whatever
the good times,
whatever path you were headed down on.
Yeah, you get to go into overtime.
I once told a woman, we were sitting there, and I said, "See, it was meant to be." I mean, the Lord is giving us this extra hour together for a reason.
That probably worked, didn't it? I bet that worked.
I'm just kidding. I didn't really do that. I did something close to that, but not those exact words. Anyway, no shame case. But the spring forward it's the spring, right?
Yeah.
You got to go. You lose an hour,
right?
So you enter into this sort of relationship. It's the good with the bad. You understand what you are given in the fall, what God gives you in the fall, He will take away from you in the spring, and you're miserable. Everybody's going to be miserable on Sunday.
Right. This is the bad one. But conversely, with your situation in the bar, you could use that for your advantage as well. You could look deep into her eyes and say, we're losing time. Let's make each moment count now.
No. You need people to be as inebriated as possible if you're going to pull.
Well, over 1 million people responded to his poll in just 13 hours, and 58% of people preferred moving the clocks forward by an hour, meaning more daylight in the evening.
Okay, so this is the conversation, is we can all agree that we're manipulating. Matt doesn't want us to play his rant anymore.
No, he doesn't.
I don't know why. Our
He
audience
thinks
loves
it's offensive.
Really?
Yeah.
After all these years, now it's offensive?
Now,
What
yes.
is offensive? He's right.
I
You
don't know.
cannot manipulate. Oh, I think he named some groups not getting along, and I think he's worried about that.
Yeah.
But it's one of the great, our longtime listeners will remember every year we used to play the Matt, going back to the days of the women and everything else. We used to play the Matt Hiblin Daylight Saving Time rant in the spring and the fall, because you cannot manipulate time, and that's what we're doing. We're manipulating time. So pick one, stay with it. The question becomes, do you want an extra hour of daylight in the morning or in the evening? I argue I want it in the morning because I got to go to work. I don't want to drive to work in the dark for another
And
month.
many people feel that way because of school and kids at the bus stop.
And why do I need it to be light at 9:30? What is this?
In the evening?
The House of the Rising Sun? I mean, what is this? What is this? Am I in Alaska? I mean, what am I doing? Why do I need it to be light at 9:30 at night?
See, I'm of that.
You want it to be light at 9:30.
Yeah, because I'm more of a night person.
Is that because you live in a very unsecure area, and the longer it's dark, the less likely you are to be invaded?
Possibly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I always feel like, the evening is the golden hour. And if you can just stretch it out just a little bit longer, it just feels better to me.
But you don't have any grass to cut. You don't. I mean,
I'm half
you don't play
awake
golf.
in the morning anyway. What do I care if
You live
if
5
it's
minutes
light
from the
out
radio
or
station.
dark out?
I would guess the majority of people would want it to be light in the morning because that's when they're up and they're active. And what do they care what's going on at night? They're in their home. I don't know.
All right. Well, Donald Trump did weigh in on this.
The clocks are going to spring forward on Sunday. When are you going to get rid of daylight savings?
Okay, are you ready? So, this should be the easiest one of all, but it's a 50-50 issue. And if something's a 50-50 issue, it's hard to get excited about it. I assume people would like to have more light later, but some people want to have more light earlier because they don't want to take their kids to school in the dark. And it's a little bit one way, but it's very much a 50-50 issue. And it's something I can do, but a lot of people like it one way, a lot of people like it the other way. It's very even. And usually I find when that's the case, what else do we have to do?
He is right. From a political perspective, if there's not a clear win, it's hard to get people to do it.
So Trump has expressed his opposition to it. He called it inconvenient. He also called it costly to the nation, and Hawaii and Arizona have never observed daylight saving time.
So what he's saying is he wants to do one. He just can't decide which one he wants to pick. He doesn't want the continual changing of the clocks.
Right.
He's saying
Let's just decide.
We're going to change them, and then we're done with it.
Yeah.
Now, when I was a kid, before we did this, when I was a kid, they would change the time change. I'm trying to remember this as a kid how this worked, right? So the time would literally change. Like was it like part of the time we were in
Central
and part of the
Standard Time, and part we were in Eastern.
Is that right? Am I remembering that correctly?
Yes.
Because what I would remember is with Cubs games and the National Football League, the NFL was the big one. For the NFL games, for the first part of the year, they came on. Was it at noon and then they went to 1?
Yeah.
Or was it 1 and then they went to noon? I think it was noon and then they went to 1. And the Cubs, it was like they would start at noon later in the year. It's hard to remember now. It's been so long because we've been on this clock change for so long.
Wasn't it Mitch Daniels?
Yes, it was Mitch Daniels
who did that.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, in northern Indiana, it was very confusing, especially working at the TV station, because half of the audience would be in Central Time Zone,
That's right.
and half of the audience would be in the Eastern Standard Time Zone. So you always had to put the dual times.
Okay, so Dusty says we were on Eastern Standard Time. It never changed. But the time did change on when things would come on television.
Yeah.
That was the confusing thing. I distinctly remember the time of the National Football League games moving in the middle of the year. So our time didn't change, but somehow
changed time
with
zones.
everybody else changing, that affected us?
No, because we didn't change.
Right. But everybody else changed.
Everybody else did.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Exactly.
So that affected us.
So in 22, the U.S. Senate, they passed a bill to make daylight saving time permanent. It failed in the House. Now, speaking of Elon Musk, it is Friday, and so that means that it's time to hear from Senator Kennedy, and he is the soundbite king, and he's talking about Elon Musk here.
I think Elon Musk is a rock star. The tofu crowd is mad, but, when you trim fat, pigs squeal. That's just the way the world works. That's the law of nature.
I was thinking that he would be a good guy to have a podcast or something when he's done being a senator, but then realized, no, he's good in short amounts.
Oh, yeah.
Little sound bites.
Elon Musk would be a disaster.
No, I'm talking about Kennedy.
Oh, Kennedy.
You don't want long form from him.
No. That's
he's good with the one line.
He would be good if you had a show where there was a host.
Yeah.
Like a lot of these podcasts with celebrities, they'll have a host. They kind of drive the discussion.
Yeah.
And the celebrity person, the entertainer, will respond to the things that are queued up by the host. And so he might be good with that if somebody were if it weren't just continually
just
him.
tee it up for him.
Sure.
And he just gave his quips.
Wait, okay. We were on Central, weren't we? Indiana was on Central Time, right? I'm fairly certain that we were on. See, somebody's gonna have to break this down for me because now I'm all jumbled up. That Indiana was on Central Time because we met
half the year,
and then half the time we were on Eastern.
Right.
Is that right? So I was right. So
we didn't change times.
The guy in the YouTube was wrong. We weren't just on one. We switched. That's why the time for us went from noon to 1. Okay.
I think that's right.
You don't even know.
It was so confusing. I'll look it up during the commercial break.
Yes, thank you.
And you've got to do your research on the Paul Skeens car.
Oh, that's right. Yes. This guy, this kid,
the
gave
auction.
Up, this little bitty tiny baby gave up a lot of potential loot to try to get a lot more loot. And let's see if it's paying off for him.
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
In purgatory, tortured souls lie trapped somewhere between heaven and you know where. This is where we find ourselves, trapped somewhere between winter and spring, tortured by strange weather patterns.
As the weather worsens,
cold, snow, and ice.
These temperatures,
then thaw, rain, and flood. Let us be your guide through all stages of
spring,
winter, your severe winter,
spring,
and spring weather station, 93 WIBC.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Pat Sullivan here for the Michaelis Corporation. I'm here with Michaela to talk about water damage. Water damage at your home or business can come from heavy rains, broken or frozen pipes, and countless other ways. Michaela, if someone has a loss due to water, why should they call Michaelis?
Michaelis is a local, family-owned Indianapolis company with 39 years' experience. We are manning the phones and ready to help 24/7, 365. Michaelis specializes in water damage restoration, is IICRC certified, and will restore your home or business to pre-loss condition or better.
I know a big part of getting back to normal is dealing with the insurance company. Can Michaelis help there?
Yes, Michaelis works through the entire process on your behalf to make it easy and give you peace of mind.
If you have water damage, call the Michaelis Corporation. Water, storms, fire, and mold, life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. Text or call 844-FIXED-INDY. That's 844-FIXED-INDY. Make it Michaelis.
I'll say this. There are no entries in the Hoops Fan Hall of Fame who didn't show up to the game. Yes, you in the back.
Professor, March Madness is coming to Indianapolis. Are we ready?
You prepared to bring the fight? Give it 110 from tip to the final buzzer? Oh, you're ready. The NCAA Sweet 16 and Elite 8, March 28th and 30th in Indianapolis. Buy your seats today at ncaa.com/MVB tickets. Class dismissed.
During tax season, your info travels lots of places you can't control.
W-2 arriving from payroll platform 3.
Everything criminals need to steal your identity is on your W-2.
Last call for accountant and home office. 1 minute.
LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points per second.
Tax preparation data centers with service to IRS. All aboard.
If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors. For 1951 cabinetry, visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or drexelin.com.
Senators, congressmen, please heed the call.
Oh, I see what he's doing here. Let's let him cook.
Don't stand in the doorway, don't block up the hall, or he that gets hurt will be he who has stalled. The battle outside raging will soon shake your windows and rattle your walls, for the times they are a-changing.
That's very good, Kevin.
That's awesome.
That almost makes you even for getting us in big trouble with our boss yesterday. It's Kendall and Casey show. So we're having this. We're going back in time to try to determine what happened with time.
Yeah.
And we got in a big debate about what Indiana used to be before.
Right.
We went to daylight saving time under Mitch Daniels. And I was saying, I know, as a kid, the time of sporting events would change during the middle of the seasons. So the Cubs games, every Cubs game used to be on WGN. And at one point, it was on like 1:20. It was 1:20 if they were in city of Chicago. And then the time would move in the middle of the year. Because here's what... It's weird things you remember, right? So when I was a kid, they literally would call it, my dad referred to it as, they would say, I'm going to tape something. And I still call it that today. It's obviously there's no more tape, but you literally had a VHS tape you would put in, and you would tape the thing, and it would record it, and then you could play the thing back and watch it. And you would set what's called a timer. You'd have to time it. It's not like today where you just press a button or whatever, and you'd actually have to go in and manually set your VHS recorder to record the thing. And I remember every year, my old man, the first time after everybody else had moved, it would screw up because he would forget that everybody else had changed and we had not changed.
Right. That's it. Indiana did not observe daylight saving time until 2006.
Okay, so let's see what you've got.
So everybody else changed. We did not.
Okay, so J.D. Prescott, he's a farmer, so he would know this, right?
Yeah.
He's a state rep.
You would hope so.
He sent this to me. Let's see if it matches what you found on the internet.
Okay.
He said, we were on Central Time with no time change. The surrounding states were on daylight saving time, making our time line up with Eastern Time with daylight savings time part of the year, and Central Time with no daylight saving time part of the year.
Yes, he's correct. So part of the year we matched up with New York, part of the year we matched up with Chicago. However, there is that caveat that there were some counties in the Northwest near Chicago and in the Southwest near Louisville, they were in Central Time Zone. So most of the state was in the Eastern. We would follow New York.
Who came up with this?
There were a couple that always followed Chicago.
But somebody came up with this convoluted mess, Casey.
Exactly. And then in 2006, Mitch Daniels said, no, we're going to observe daylight saving time like the rest of the country, and we're going to start flip-flopping back and forth.
Now, the mistake he made, look at me judging Mitch Daniels, friend of the show, is, well, I agree with one.
I notice you interview him all the time when I'm gone. By the way, no relation.
He doesn't want to deal with
Daniels.
You. Yeah. Oh, I'm just kidding. He's never said that. I just know he probably thought that.
He had no idea.
Anyway, they should have gone Central. Now, I know they went Eastern because they said for business reasons that it was better to be on time with New York. It made it easier to attract companies, whatever. Nobody thinks of Indiana as being part of the eastern part of the United States. Everybody thinks of Indiana in the, the crossroads of America, right? In the dead center. We should have been in the Central Time Zone.
Okay. You sticking with that?
I mean, you disagree?
No, I would prefer that as well.
Yeah, because now part of the state is still in the central time zone. When you go to Evansville
Mhm.
or you go to Gary.
Right.
I don't know why you'd go to Gary, but if you had the misfortune of going to Gary.
Well, actually, that line goes pretty far across into St. Joe County even. So it's not just Gary. It's like LaPorte and Porter and
No, is it?
I think even New Carlisle.
But it's not straight west, because if I go to Terre Haute is still in Eastern time. You get to the county line and it'll switch, or the state line rather, and it'll switch. But Terre Haute, which is as far west as you can go, you cross the line, you head into Illinois. That's not Central time.
I'm wondering, so Donald Trump weighed in on this, and he said it's a 50-50 issue. This is a state issue. That's not something he can mandate anyway.
I think it is. I think he's going to say the country will all do the same thing.
Really?
But I don't know if he can do that by fiat. He can't do that by fiat. He's got to have the Congress say that.
Can make an executive order?
He can't just make somebody do that.
How did they do it last time? Was it Congress that voted on it?
Well,
Had to have been, right?
I don't know.
I mean,
thought you were
wasn't
the one doing all the research.
Wasn't it for the farmers because they wanted the daylight in the morning? And wasn't that the whole point of it? So that it was lighter so that they could get to the crops earlier?
Dan Dockett just texted me, goes, be easy on Gary. It's a beautiful town. We love you, Coach. We love you, Coach. Thanks for being nice to Amber.
Is he from Gary?
He's a region guy, yeah.
Okay.
Dan Dockett was one of the great
Good for him for sticking up for his hometown.
high school basketball players that ever existed from the region. Beloved figure up there. I believe he's Andrean.
Is he going to say that Gary's making a comeback?
So anyway, okay, so very good. So now we've kind of gotten to the...
We're completely lost.
Well,
whatever.
I still don't understand.
All I know is you're going to spring forward at 2 a.m. on Sunday.
You're going to lose an hour, and then you're going to be miserable on Sunday.
Yeah.
It is really probably a 2 or 3 day recovery.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mean to make it like some Tyson fight or Vietnam battlefield existence.
It is the bad one out of the two. Because you just love gaining the hour in the fall, but now here comes the payback.
But then in a weird way, you've got a recovery issue in the fall, too, because like I said, you used to waste it destroying your liver. And so it's an extra hour of treating your body horribly. And so then you have to recover that. I like a uniformity. I say we all go to the same thing, whatever that is. If you want to give me an extra hour in the evening, fine. If I would prefer to have it in the morning.
I would prefer it in the evening.
But I'm not going to die on that hill.
Yeah.
We got to get off having to change the clocks all the time.
Right.
Set it. Let's go with it. That's where we're rolling.
And if they do make a determination one way or the other, how long would it be for people to get out of the habit of switching back and forth?
And
do you think that would be instant?
No more parts of the state being different.
I know. Well, hello. That was really confusing.
Yeah, you were up there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No,
it was like
we're all in or
even
we're all
trying
out.
to explain it is difficult. Okay, Paul Skeens and Cheetos.
Oh, that's right, the card. We got to get to the card.
So there's these auctions. People want to pay money for a Paul Skeens baseball card and for a Cheeto, and we'll talk about it coming up from 93 WIBC.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Why 3 people in Warren Township are facing battery charges. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 11:30. There was a fight on a school bus Thursday.
And they go for any one of you on this mother bus.
Police say a woman and her 2 kids got on the bus and attacked an 8th grader. They're looking at all angles of the video, which has been circulated on social media more than 100,000 times. Former Canadian Olympic snowboarder Ryan Wedding is now on the FBI's top 10 most wanted fugitives list. The FBI believes Wedding moved cocaine from Colombia through Mexico and Southern California up to Canada and to other places in the U.S. The Vatican says Pope Francis had a peaceful night as he remains in the hospital. He did make his first public comment since going to the hospital 3 weeks ago. Vatican staff also says he's stable and did not have any episodes of respiratory insufficiency. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hello, friends. It is Rob for my friends at We Grow Hair Indie. You know, it is March. That means spring is about to sprung. I don't know if that's the correct way to say it. I don't know if that's a word. But another thing that could be sprunging is more hair on the top of your head if you call my friends at We Grow Hair Indie. You know, I did that, what was that? It's been 4+ years ago, and every time I look in the mirror, so glad that I did. Here's how this whole process works. You call today, 317-522-2995. 317-522-2995. Schedule your totally free, no hassle, no obligation consultation. Darren and the gang are going to take a look at what's going on the top of your head, and then they'll give you some suggestions on how to grow your hair back. You make the call from there. The ball's in your court. In the meantime, you can see some other folks who made the choice to get their confidence back at We Grow Hair Indy by heading over to their website, WeGrowHairIndy.com. WeGrowHairIndy.com, 317-522-2995. Tell them Rob sent you.
Do you have an idea for a book, fiction, nonfiction, or a children's book? We can help you put it together and bring it to market at Dorrance Publishing. We have thousands of testimonials from people just like you that we've helped get their books sold in stores and online. We've even got a service called The Writer's Coach. It's perfect for people that have a book idea in their head and they just need someone to help them put it on paper. Dorrance Book Publishing has been helping people just like you who have a book idea, written or not, for over 100 years. Imagine being counted among the most famous authors in the world with your very own book. Call right now and let us help you turn a book idea into reality. It's easier than you think. You just need a little help. Call us now.
800-879-4098. 800-879-4098. 800-879-4098. That's 800-879-4098.
Garage Doors of Indianapolis is everything that's right about Central Indiana. They've been locally family-owned for 50 years, helping our local economy remain strong by employing 70 families. Garage Doors of Indianapolis is proud to do business right here in the great state of Indiana. They're a conservative-minded company that shares our values and stands by their products and services. You can call Garage Doors of Indianapolis today for service today. 875-4577, 875-4577, or visit doorstoday.com.
Hey, this is Spencer Thompson at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. Ready for better sleep? Now is your chance during the March mattress sale. Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, King Coil, Bed Gear, and Nectar mattresses, you can save up to $800 with up to 4 years interest-free financing. And don't forget, Thompson Furniture delivers for free. Hurry! Sale ends Monday only at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Hey, it's Rob from a family at Life Church. You know, one of the great things Life Church has going on is the Life Church Coffee House on Sheridan Road in Noblesville. It's not just local and supports a great cause, but the coffee is amazing. They have all the special treats you love at the coffee house, including baked goods and other specialty coffees, breakfast and lunch choices, and ice cream. Plus, the Life Church Coffee House on Sheridan Road in Noblesville supports the fight against sex trafficking through Project Rescue. We love Project Rescue. Life Church is great. 4 campuses across central Indiana, Noblesville, Fishers, Eagle Creek, and Pendleton. Great online services. Learn more about everything at lifechurchin.com.
Hey, Bill, where you been? You're overdue for a haircut.
Man, listen, my water pipes burst and flooded my house. Place a mess. I've been staying with my daughter till I can figure out what to do.
You trying to fix it and move back in?
No way. It's too big a mess. It'll cost me tens of thousands of dollars. I ain't got that kind of money.
You trying to sell it then?
Well, that's what I'd like to do, but who's going to buy my house in this condition?
Did you call Simple Quarters?
Simple Quarters?
Simple Quarters bought our house when we were in a jam. We needed to move real quick. They closed fast and gave us cash.
Simple Quarters will buy in any condition?
That's right. They buy as is. You don't have to repair anything or clean anything out. It's simple.
What do I have to do?
Just call them. They'll do a quick walkthrough, then they'll make you an offer.
Simple Quarters is a local Christian company that loves to help people in difficult situations. Call Simple Quarters at 317-900-HOME. That's 317-900-HOME. Check us out at simplequarters.com.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Remember how we listened to the radio, and I said that's the place to be. And how I got the job.
All right, I know you're outraged about this Cheeto, so we'll get to that in a second. But first, so the Paul Skeens card is finally up for auction.
Yeah.
You may remember this last year. So there is this, Paul Skeens is one of the hottest players in baseball. He's a pitcher for the Pittsburgh Pirates. I think he was Rookie of the Year last year. He throws a gajillion miles an hour. Played for the Indians for a while. Was over here for the Indians. He is not married or engaged, but his girlfriend is Livy Dunn, who's a famous gymnast. And there was this card, I think Topps did the card, baseball card,
that it was his debut patch, the patch he wore on his shoulder.
Yep.
And this card is autographed, and it's the hottest card in the hobby right now. And it was inserted into a pack of cards, and a preemptive strike. Clearly, Skeens wants this card because there was this preemptive strike from the Pirates where they were like, if you pull this card, we'll give you season tickets for 30 years and all this Paul Skeens autographed merch and a meet and greet with him. And then apparently they weren't getting a lot of good response on that because let's face it, unless you live in Pittsburgh, what good are Pirates season tickets?
Yeah.
Pirates stink. The street value on those is like 8 cents, right? So unless you live in Pittsburgh and are a big Pirates fan, that wasn't going to work. So Livy Dunn, who's well assembled, was like, and you can also come hang out in the booth with me.
Sit in the suite with me.
And I said, look, that's probably quite a enticement, but depending on who pulls this card, unless she's cutting your lawn once a week in a swimsuit, probably for many people, that's not going to have the street value this card is going to have either because this is probably $1 million card. Well, some little kid,
11-year-old from Los Angeles, got it as part of a Christmas present.
Yeah, a box of cards, pack of cards, whatever. He pulls this card. Well, of course, then everybody's trying to, it's like, the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. He's got the golden ticket. Everybody's trying to say, sell this thing with me. Don't give in. Don't give this. You have no idea what the value of this card is. The kid decided he was going to sell the card.
Yeah.
Which, no offense, but Paul Skeens is super rich. If he wants a card, he can buy it, right? I mean, I know the Pirates were trying to do him a solid, but there's no way whatever this kid gets for this card, one would think he would sell those tickets for or whatever. So he decides he's going to sell the card. It's on Fanatics right now. Fanatics, I guess, is a website that sells.
Fanatics Collect, yeah.
Yeah, he didn't go to Heritage or any of these other big ones.
Golden.
He went to Fanatics. It has been up it opened last night at 7 p.m. Case, this was a couple hours ago, the update. You want to guess what the card was as of 2 hours ago?
Well, last night, wasn't it already over $300,000?
It is $340,000 as of this morning.
Wow.
Now, it will go until...
it goes until March 20th.
March 20th. So you basically got, what is today, the 7th? 2 weeks, and it's at $340,000. My guess will be it'll go over $1 million.
Yeah. Well, that's a long time. And all of those bids are going to come in at the very end, right before the auction closes on March 20th.
Maybe he'll get so much he could just buy a meet and greet with Livy Dunn. And then you'd still have a few cents to move left over.
Right. Or, yeah. I mean, he can parlay that into some sort of meet and greet with her.
Good would it?
He's 11 years old, though.
Yeah, well, okay, first of all, he's 11 years old. But let's just pretend you were a grown man who would appreciate, you were a grown man of nearly 30 years like Kevin. And let's say Kevin had pulled this card. What good is hanging out with Livy Dunn for a few hours going to do? What, is she going to be thoroughly impressed? Oh, my millionaire best pitcher in the world boyfriend. Or I could be with a Midwest radio show producer. What are you going to say to Livy Dunn that once those 3 hours or whatever that ball game is that she's contractually obligated to pretend to be nice to you?
Right.
What are you going to get out of that?
That's where it ends, right?
Exactly.
Maybe a social media post and that's it.
Yeah, right. This kid, absolutely. And he's 11 years old. What is it? He couldn't even appreciate it.
Right, exactly.
So what is it? He's absolutely made... Okay, you're mad about a Cheeto?
Oh, one thing I wanted to add, though, is one of the reasons maybe he chose Fanatics Collect is because they're going to donate some of the proceeds to the LA Fire Relief Fund. And the kid was from LA. Oh. So that could be why he picked
No, I think
them.
he just chose them because they probably said you're going to get the most amount of money. I mean, come on, Casey.
You'll
Don't be
get the
naive.
most amount of money with us.
Okay, so tell us.
Somebody directed
You got 2 minutes. Tell us about the Cheeto.
Oh, well, did you hear that there's this Cheeto? It's shaped like a Pokemon, and
It's shaped like a who?
Pokemon.
A Pokemon?
Yeah, it's shaped like Charizard.
It's shaped like who?
Charizard.
Is that a character in Pokemon as a game? Is that right?
Pokemon. Yeah, Pokemon was a
I never did
show,
Pokemon.
And then a game, and then,
but
people collect the cards.
There's cards that are worth money now. And Charizard?
Charizard.
Are you into this? You're a grown man.
Well, I used to watch the show when I was little.
Oh, when you were a kid, so you know the... All right.
But I never collected the cards.
Too bad.
Actually, wait, I think I had a couple, yeah.
Well, they may be worth money. You should probably go find those. But as a grown man, you're not into this now.
No.
Okay, very good.
So this was
the disdain, which was Kevin, was like, no.
Not into it at all. Okay,
Not
so
exactly.
it's a 3-inch long flaming hot variety Cheeto.
Somebody pulled this out of a Cheeto bag?
Yes,
okay.
and it was shaped like this Charizard, whatever. And so they put it up for auction. It attracted 60 bids, and the winning bid was $72,000 $100. And then, of course, you've got the buyer's premium. So the overall price for this 3-inch long flaming hot Cheeto, $87,840.
Someone paid $87,000 for a Cheeto?
Are we thinking that this is money laundering? Because who is honestly paying that kind of money?
Wouldn't it go bad? I mean,
it's a Cheeto. It could be around forever.
Well, that's my point, though. But eventually, isn't it going to crumble or something?
You'd think.
There's no way. Yeah, you're right. There has to be more to this story than somebody just was willing to pay $87,000 for a Cheeto.
Right. That's what I'm thinking. There's something else going on here with this.
What a show we did today.
It's fantastic. Congratulations.
It's not over yet, though.
No, it's not, because we've got the Mind Your Manners segment with Susan Beckwith.
She wants in desperately on Ethan Hatcher having no idea that you're supposed to wave to people if they let you merge into traffic.
Good.
Susan's going to get hot.
I can't wait to hear it. She's going to join us next. It's 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel show, 3 o'clock this afternoon. It's Beer Sample Friday. We're going to have some barguments and the biggest stories in Indy. Join us and let's roll.
Well, sure. Of course, we're all excited that spring is almost here in central Indy. But this month, when the weather still can't make up its mind and it's going back and forth between warm and cold, Hoosiers get a very specific type of roadway March Madness. It's called potholes. And they're a pain, but you know what? It's one of the reasons why I'm a AAA member. Peace of mind for the roadside assistance. I've had flat tires on the side of the road because of potholes. AAA has been there for me every time.
And if you're having tire issues, AAA's got you covered with their mobile tire service, My Pit Crew. They bring the tire shop to you. I've used this service before, and now that I got my 2 boys driving, this service protects the whole family. So if you don't have a spare, My Pit Crew from AAA, these guys are the best. MyPitCrew.com. You pick out the tires and schedule the install. Join AAA today. AAA members get a discount on My Pit Crew. You can get a AAA membership by calling 844-GO-AAA-GO or stop by any AAA office. AAA.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Hammer and Nigel here for Window Nation. Winters are long here in the area, and if you're tired of seeing and feeling that winter weather coming in past your old windows like I was, you need Window Nation. Their high-quality, energy-efficient windows will get rid of those drafts to keep your costly heat inside, lower your monthly utility bills, and keep your home comfortable year-round. And they're affordable, too. Right now, get 2 windows free for every 2 you buy. Plus, with 0 down and no payments or interest for 2 years, you could get new windows installed in 1 day and not pay anything until 2027.
Imagine what you could do with all that extra money in your pocket. Plus, they're guaranteed for life. Don't miss out on your chance to take advantage of the buy 2, get 2 for free promotion, and you don't pay anything until 2027. Schedule your fast, free estimate right now at 866-90-NATION or go to windownation.com.
Hey, it's Matt Bear. Warm weather is coming, and now's the time to call Cochran Exteriors to beat the spring rush. Roofing, siding, windows, doors, gutters, and more. My friends at Cochran Exteriors will give you a free consultation with options to meet your budget, and all without the high pressure or gimmicky sales tactics. Over 10,000 satisfied area customers, a lifetime workmanship warranty. It's why Cochran Exteriors is my choice. Visit CochranExteriors.com.
Discover cancer care that empowers you at Community Health Network MD Anderson Cancer Center, with leading-edge treatment options right in your backyard.
I feel blessed and lucky. If I knew someone that was going through what I was going through, I would definitely encourage them to participate in a clinical trial. For me, it was life-changing.
Learn more at ecommunity.com/cancer.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce, spruce, spruce.
It's Spruce, the new hard-working, worry-free weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people and pets. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Weeds die by the next day. Find Spruce wherever weed killers are sold.
Kendall and Casey.
I'm a young, up-and-coming professional. We are people who want to work. We want to engage. We don't want to be freeloaders. And yet, it makes it very hard for young people to actually do that.
Kendall and Casey, 9 till noon on 93 WIBC.
Susan, looks like I'm losing my mind.
Casey, it's that time.
It is. It's Friday, Rob.
It's your favorite part of the week when you don't have to see me for 2 whole days.
When we can say goodbye to each other for at least 48 hours.
Do you see how angry you were? And you said when we can say goodbye to each other.
Goodbye. Bye. Bye-bye.
And to send you into the weekend, we try to make you better, more productive members of society. The segment is called Mind Your Manners, and we don't just bring any amateur to give you advice on how to be a better, more productive member of society. Yes, that's right. She's a former Miss Indiana, and now she's elevated herself to the second lady.
Yeah,
of the state of
I
Indiana.
know. Isn't that amazing?
Susan Beckwith is her name. All right, Susan, before we get to the focus of today's lesson, you were really fired up to get in on the people who don't wave when you allow them to merge into traffic.
Yeah, so I was listening to the replay. I don't know about you all, but I love to pop in my earbuds and clean and listen to podcasts. And so I was getting caught up on yours. So I sent you a text message to say, yes, you did the exact right thing. You know, it is polite to let someone know if they've done you a kindness, which is letting you in. I mean, they could have chosen to ignore you. So I was absolutely on board with you on that one.
Casey, you weren't here for this. Ethan was here.
Right.
And then we were talking about, I said, not one, not two, but 3 people I had let merge into traffic there in Warehouseburg.
Wow,
because
that's nice.
Well, it's impossible to get around because they've torn the whole town up at the same time. I mean, and look, I'm sure there's a reason for that. The level of brilliance that is taking place, I cannot even begin to understand. But the point is, if people are in businesses, gas stations, whatever, unless you let them out, they're not going to be able to get out of traffic.
Right.
Or into traffic. And let them out. All 3 of them. No wave, no acknowledgement, no anything.
They just
Casey, it's that time.
It is. It's Friday,
Now, do
Rob.
you wave? Are
Your
you
favorite
a waver?
part of the week? Oh, yeah,
When you don't have to see me for 2 whole days.
When we can say goodbye to each other
they can't
for
really
at least
see me, I
48
make
hours.
sure
You see how angry you are?
Yeah.
So we
Put
can
my
say
arm in the air and
goodbye
give the
to each other. And it's like Costanza with the tip jar. You want to put it in like
send you into the
multiple times.
weekend.
They don't see. You got to take it out and put it back in
To make sure you get credit
you
for
want
it.
to keep waving. The segment is called Mind Your Manners, and we don't just bring any amateur to give you advice on how to be a better, more productive member.
Your one blood donation can help save the lives of up to 3 people. Give blood through the American Red Cross to help hospital patients. Visit redcrossblood.org today.
Sure, Ken. Were you?
It takes everyone in the community working together to create a brighter future. Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Visit liveunited.org to learn how you can help.
When was the last time you practiced your home fire escape plan? Be sure everyone in your family knows what to do if there's a fire. Get out, stay out. It's your fire safe response.
Your one blood donation can help save the lives of up to 3 people. Give blood through the American Red Cross to help hospital patients. Visit redcrossblood.org today.
Hey, Dad.
Yeah.
You remember that ball game we went to a couple years ago?
Sure.
And how you didn't have enough cash for 2 hot dogs, so you walked with me on your shoulders until we found an ATM? And then when we got back to our seats, we never saw the hot dog guy again.
Well, I don't remember all that.
Yeah, that was an awesome game.
You never know which moments will be the ones they'll remember forever. So take time to be a dad today. Learn more at 1-877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
I'm Deidre Hall with a message about your eye health. My mother had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD, which means my family members are at greater risk.
I'm Dr. Sada of Doheny UCLA. AMD is the most common cause of severe, irreversible vision loss in older adults. If a healthcare professional suspects AMD, a retina specialist can confirm the diagnosis and work with you on a treatment plan.
Routine eye care can help maintain your vision. Visit geteyesmart.org for more information.
More than 100 million wild animals are killed each year illegally. Poaching is a major threat to our country's wildlife. I'm Tom Barry. I'm an actor with a desire to preserve living space for wildlife. The Humane Society Wildlife Land Trust does just that. Works with private landowners to protect wildlife, to preserve natural habitats. To learn more or to work with the Humane Society Wildlife Land Trust, call 800-729-SAVE. That's 800-729-SAVE, or visit wildlifelandtrust.org. Thank you.
Is the American dream, but today's economy is challenging. Have you fallen behind on your mortgage payments? Many homeowners facing financial difficulty often feel lost and don't know where to turn for help. The airwaves are filled with offers of fast and simple relief. However, many find these offers often lead to damaged credit, higher debt, and ultimately the loss of one's home. If it seems like there's no way out, know there is legitimate help available. The National Foundation for Credit Counseling is a nonprofit organization that has provided answers and concrete solutions to consumers in situations just like yours for more than 60 years. Our certified housing specialists will work with you to review your finances and create a custom plan that's right for your specific situation. NFCC member agencies provide free and affordable help and meet U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development standards. Call 866-687-6322 or visit mortgagehelpnow.org.
It takes everyone in the community working together to create a brighter future. Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Visit liveunited.org to learn how you can help.
Well, that's all my fault, Casey.
Yeah, what happened there? That was a little like an acid trip or something.
No, we'll own that. So we try to tape that Mind Your Manners segment to work around people's schedules because they have lives and jobs. And I did something where I edited two things together, and so everything was playing over each other. And look, I don't know. What do you want from me, right? You get what you pay for.
Yeah, well, we did get in trouble yesterday, so this is just payback.
Well,
right?
we were headed on our way to the state. One of the reasons I did this is I'm trying to get over to the State House to get this rally thing organized, and we have like a caravan of people that are they waiting for us in the lobby?
They are, and they saw me jump back in the elevator, and Matt said, "What's going on?"
Can you text them to let them know we'll be down as soon as this thing is done with here?
Yeah.
Okay, very good, thanks. So yeah, try to do 5 things at once. Totally my fault. I'll take all the blame. Send all your hate letters to me. Here, I'll summarize Mind Your Manners, okay?
But you know what? Before you do that, I just want to point out that we would have not known ourselves that there was a problem unless your dad had texted you.
He was like,
"That's not good."
That's the way my old man operates. I don't hear from him, for 4 or 5 days. No, best shows ever. No, it's just something's very wrong with your program.
Well, thank you to him for the heads up so that we could run back upstairs.
Basically, what she said was Ethan's an a-hole.
Well, you were talking about the waving, right? You had let people in when there was construction, and 3 cars, you said, and they didn't wave and give you the, hey, thanks.
Like I'm driving down the road. There's a string of cars behind me. The person is in a local business or something trying to get out. And then that person, I let them out, or otherwise would not be able to get out, and they don't wave and say, hey, thanks.
Right. And so Susan Beckwith was pointing out that they're in the wrong. They should wave and give the nod, the thanks, the whatever.
Yeah.
And you are in the right when you do that. When someone lets you in, when they let you merge in a construction zone or whatever, you need to give them the courtesy, hey, thanks.
You know what I've decided? I know what I did. So, Kev, no more bumper music on these segments. You're going to have to do it because that's where the mess up is happening.
You're rolling this around in your brain right now.
Well, I'm trying to, because I've done this before, and it's usually when I got 9 things going on and I don't properly check the things the way that I need to check them. And so from now on, to prevent that from happening, I'm going to let Kevin pick all the music.
The producer
and put it
of the show is going to produce.
Because this was 100% my fault, and I blew it. Okay, but she did have elevator etiquette.
She did, and she actually answered a question that I've had for a while when it comes to elevators. One, we did ask about the poo sock in the elevator, and she said, no, that's not normal. You don't want to leave those in elevators. And that's not typically something you're going to have to deal with. I just drew the lucky card that day.
Yeah.
But when you're approaching an elevator and the doors open and people are getting off the elevator, who goes first? Do you let them off or do you try and get on?
Right. You let them get on. Oh, and stand in the back of the, or you let people get off before you get on. Right. You, if you're in an elevator, door opens, you let the people get off.
Before you try and get on.
Right. And then if you're on an elevator, go to the back of the elevator.
Right.
Go to the back of the elevator. Do not stand in the front of the elevator.
And that is so when people are getting on the elevator and the doors open, you're not just standing there with your face right in their way.
Yeah.
Give them a little space so that they can enter the elevator and make their floor
Go ahead.
choice.
Say it. You're really disappointed in me.
What do you mean?
That I screwed that up. Go ahead.
Say
it.
I'm not. You know what?
You can say it. Let it out. Let it. Say it loud. Say it proud.
You typically do a very good job. This was
so
just one
stressed about this rally that
one
I screwed
little
that up.
hiccup, and it's okay. I think our listeners understand. We're putting a lot of effort into trying to help them get their property taxes lowered.
Yeah, but
and
I can't
this
get
is
through your
just
day
one
job.
of those.
It was an egregious mistake.
How could you do this, Rob Kendall? I mean, like, double check your work. Forget the 5 bullets of what you got done.
Hey, John Herrick,
last week.
You ever screw up I got headphones here. Hey, John Herrick, you ever screw up an IU halftime show or something? You just do a horrible job? How do you deal with it? What do you do? Go smoke a cigarette or?
No, you just go home and say next broadcast. Next one will be better.
All right.
You take the tongue lashing from Don Fisher and you move on.
All right, now we're going to the State House. I'm out of here. The news is next. Sorry, Kevin.
Thanks for joining us. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you for listening. Have a great weekend. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
You love spring and Indy, but you hate to paint, so do what Judy did. She called Rhino Shield.
The house that Rhino Shield did for my husband and I, after having the house painted with kind of usual house paint, I was seeing cracks appearing about every 3 years and just wasn't very satisfied with that.
Rhino Shield's a ceramic coating specifically formulated for our unique climate.
I can't speak highly enough about the Rhino Shield crew. They also were great at working with me to get the exact right color because I was very particular.
Visit Rhino Shield's booth at the Flower and Patio Show and learn about their 25-year transferable warranty protection. Plus, receive a free prize.
I would not hesitate to call Rhino Shield, and I am just thrilled to recommend Rhino Shield to my friends and neighbors and family.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Whether you're preparing for retirement, navigating a life transition, or simply wondering if you're on the right path, Howard Bailey Financial is here to help. Together, we'll work on a personalized plan designed to bring greater clarity to your goals and help you approach decisions with confidence. It's not just about numbers, it's about the life you want to lead and the legacy you want to leave behind. With over 20 years of experience, Howard Bailey Financial has been dedicated to guiding individuals as they work toward taking control of their financial future and finding peace of mind. Text PATH to 888-262-1104 to download a free retirement toolkit and start planning for the retirement you've dreamed of. Howard Bailey Financial, helping you turn hope into a plan and dreams into reality. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Thinning hair? This year, grow your hair back like I did. Call 317-522-2995 or visit WeGrowHairIndy.com.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors. For 1951 cabinetry, visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or DrexelIN.com.
On the level, on the go. 93 WIBC Indianapolis.
Coming up, an LSD laboratory.
28,000 warnings were issued to speeding drivers.
I'm sick of you kids at this school.
It's bogus. It's not provable.
This is the WIBC News at noon.
A drug lab takedown.
Nothing on radar. It's also cloudy and 40 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. I'm Ryan Hedrick.
And I'm Sean Herrick. Here's what's trending at 12 noon. That ended with 4 arrests on Thursday. Johnson County Sheriff Dwayne Burgess says local, state, and federal officers teamed up for the operation in Greenwood.
The narcotics or undercover guys for the Johnson County Sheriff's Office obtained a search warrant for 975 Stone Road. When they went to that residence, they found what they believed to be an LSD laboratory, and that's something that's new to all of us.
Burgess says Clint Walker was in charge of the lab with help from his girlfriend, Crystal Roseberry. Burgess says both of them were arrested, and so were Walker's parents.
An update is